Manny Machado prime years.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Tuesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. He's Frank Marchese. We are the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Today's a Tuesday. Feels like a Thursday as we get you ready for a Thanksgiving weekend. Should be a fun time for everybody out there in America's finest city. It's going to be a hot one in America's finest city. We got the Santa Ana winds coming through, so a little bit of a warmer climate for Thanksgiving here in Southern California.
I've never hated a place that I've never been to more than Santa Ana.
Frank said that yesterday. But so since we have two shows left, we got a couple of things, a lot of things we got to get to in these next couple of shows. You know, obviously tomorrow's show, we're going to jam pack a lot of our Thursday, Friday stuff into the Wednesday show, getting you ready for Thanksgiving. We're also the last live show tomorrow as well. So should be exciting for that. I think a lot of you out there might be experiencing some Fridays today. Maybe you experienced Friday last Friday and you have the whole week off. Kids are out of school. I know there's a lot of last minute planning for everything for Thanksgiving, but we'll keep you entertained. If you're driving around, you got to get stuff done before relatives coming to town. If you got to get your supplies for Thanksgiving Thursday, stay tuned to us as we keep you updated on everything in the world of sports. And we have a lot to talk about on today's show. We're going to get to a lot of different things. We're going to talk about Aztec basketball and what that was last night. I mean, a 40-point L to Michigan. I know you get the benefit of playing Michigan, but you have to somewhat compete with Michigan for it to really count for anything. Aztecs lost by 40 last night. They didn't look good at all. It was terrible. Awful. Couldn't believe it. We'll talk more about that later on. We'll talk about baseball. Padres put together their coaching staff. There's a lot of interest. Like Steven Souza Jr. is the new hitting coach for the Padres. Never done it before. But I tell you what, I like a lot of the breakdowns he's been doing. And he's been part of the analytical department over in Tampa Bay. There's a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to Steven Souza Jr. And again, we've talked about it before. Just because you're really good at being a coach, just because you're very good at being a baseball player doesn't mean you're a great coach. And just because you weren't as good statistically doesn't mean you're not going to be a good coach. I'm actually, the more I research Steven Souza Jr., the more excited I got with his kind of philosophy of hitting. And I think it's going to help out the Padres. So Craig Stammen is bringing in guys that he trusts, people that he knows. You were expecting that to be the case. They're still waiting on hiring a third base coach. And other than that, it's going to be a lot of the other things. A lot of the other players, or should I say coaches, coming back from last year. We'll keep you updated on that. We had a big trade in Major League Baseball today. Sonny Gray is on the move. Sounds like the hot stove starting to heat up a little bit. Should be fun. We got high school football tonight. But the main story, as I rolled through everything that we're going to talk about later on the show, the main story is San Diego FC. And what a game they had last night in the conference semifinal to knock off Minnesota and advance to the Western Conference final. Amazing.
Unbelievable game.
Amazing. Unbelievable game, as Frank Marchese alluded to. Electric atmosphere last night in San Diego. And the historic run in their first ever year in professional soccer, in the MLS, continues to roll for San Diego FC. They will be in the Western Conference final game, and they will be playing on Saturday at 6 o'clock at Snapdragon Stadium in the Western Conference final. A win against Vancouver, and guess what? They will either take on Inter Miami or New York City FC in the MLS Cup final. That will be on December 6th. At 11:30 a.m. Pacific time later on, potentially in the playoffs. But let's talk about last night. And what a game it was last night. We're going to play some highlights for you from Apple TV+. Max Bretos and Brian Dunseth were on the call last night for the playoff game. And let's talk about a little bit of the game flow of what happened. We're going to start with the goal. The one goal that happened in the game from and no other than Anders Dreyer. I mean, Anders Dreyer's had a phenomenal season. Breakout star, scores a decisive goal, a left-footed rocket after a clever backheel pass from Corey Baird, who is a San Diego native. Here's what it sounded like on Apple TV Plus last night.
Are you surprised that we haven't seen the activity from sidelines? I'm a little bit.
It feels like it's final 20 minutes where Mikey Veras goes to his bench and thinks about the impact players.
He may not do this. Goes.
Take a wild guess. It's Mr. San Diego, Anders Dreyer. 23 goals, regular postseason.
Anders Dreyer, Mr. San Diego. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but that was a phenomenal play to get the goal in the 72nd minute. It was the only goal that San Diego FC needed. And as quoted after the game, head coach Mikey Varas says, I felt the dam cracking right before Anders Dreyer had a phenomenal play, Frank.
Yeah, no, the play was set up. San Diego FC had so much pressure on all night. And from what you hear, for those of you who were at the game, you didn't hear this, obviously, but from every analyst was saying the longer that this game goes 0-0, the more and more it favors Minnesota United. So you could feel it getting more and more tense the deeper and deeper the game went on. Yeppe lobs a beautiful dot just over Baird's head. And if Baird does not play that ball the way he does, back heel, just unbelievable pass, that's going out for a goal kick. Just lays it back perfectly, drew more defenders than it needed. Dreyer's sitting in the box with space, and he just obliterated that ball into the top corner. Unbelievable shot. The pass was what made that goal happen.
San Diego controlled most of the game. Minnesota but had a lot better chances. I mean, San Diego FC dominated the possessions, but Minnesota had 11 shots and 4 on goal. San Diego FC only had 1 shot on goal, which was the Dreyer winner. San Diego FC struggled breaking down Minnesota's, big defensive block, but it was the big-time defensive and goalkeeping moments last night that helped San Diego FC preserve this 1-0 game, or at least give them a chance. We're going to get to the big Ian Pilcher play in a second, but you got to give credit to Cisniga that, Pablo Cisniga went out there and had 3 critical saves, and the most important one was in the 64th minute on a recovery after slipping on sandy turf, which was left over from the Aztec football game. And here's one of the big saves that he had last night. I think that's safe.
Comes back, Yeboah. It falls perfectly. The first touch is good. Pablo Cisniega had to wait for it.
Pablo Cisniega was phenomenal last night. And again, not the starting goalkeeper for San Diego FC. He's done a great job, Frank, at filling in.
Yes, he has. He's been very, very good. I don't remember seeing him play much, if at all, during the regular season, but that one-on-one play, and you're right, he initially slipped and then had to come out, regroup, and keep his wrists locked as that ball came in from Yeboah. That was a huge, huge save. Unfortunately for him as well, able to corral it, able to keep it close, and able to get it around. Get it away.
Cisniega just had a phenomenal night, but it wasn't just him. And again, these are all the plays that usually stack up to help you win playoff games. And you talk about the Cisniega saves, but also I think what everybody else wanted to really talk about. And we have played it so many different times. I've watched it so many different times, but Ian Pilcher saved the season last night. I mean, he went out there and put his body on the line and had probably one of the best saves I have ever seen in soccer. Here's what it sounded like.
Pereira for Lud, all the way through, puts on the brakes, Robin Lud! Oh! The play of the game by Ian Pilcher. Who else? Sliding into third. Magnificent.
A sliding goal line save after Robin Lod's chance slipped past Cisniega. Multiple Momentum plays, blocks, clearances, physical duels, and the crowd just electric the entire night. And Frank, we heard that on almost every single one of those calls.
Yeah, it was manic at Snapdragon last night. From the start of the game, I'm sitting there watching it. It chills, just wishing I was there. And I know I won't be able to be there next weekend. But yeah, the crowd was incredible last night. And Ian Pilcher, I texted you immediately after it happened. I didn't want to interrupt you. You said you were out at the team dinner, but that was one I had to. It saved their season, because if he doesn't come sliding in like that, it's over.
That was a physical match, and as Juan in the chat says, a very emotional match. 6 yellow cards total, early contentious moments. Carlos Harvey and Corey Beard collide in the box. Snapdragon Stadium was begging for a penalty on that particular play. Atmosphere was described as a fever pitch by the media throughout the press box last night. And all of that emotion came to the final call of San Diego advancing in the MLS Cup playoffs.
And clear even more time.
It's over.
San Diego FC are not only going to the Western Conference Final, they're going to host it. So long, never been able to call the City of Champions. This club 2 wins away from etching it in stone.
A pretty good call right there for the final call. And again, San Diego.
Max Britos was on point all night. Every single one of his calls were incredible.
And this is the chance, a big chance that San Diego has at winning their first professional championship since 1963, when they won an AFL championship against the Boston Patriots. It's a city that's looking for a championship, and San Diego FC's got 2 games away from potentially doing that, and a lot of different things playing out. We're going to recap what happened in the game yesterday. We'll hear some post-game from Jeppe Tverskov and Anders Dreyer, who were interviewed after the game, and a lot of other questions still need to be answered. I mean, I think a lot of people were asking where Chucky Lozano was last night. Well-timed play by Mikey Varas to get him in the game, but that's a big conversation. We're going to get Frank's breakdown, and we're going to talk more about some of the storylines from last night's game as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. All guests at 97 through the Fan, join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We have, is this for today, the ticket giveaway?
Yes, it is.
We have tickets to give away to Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd. September 2nd.
2026.
It's November 25th. People are going to win those tickets, and then they're going to forget about them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, that's right. I do have tickets to
I know that
Snapdragon
feeling.
Yeah, jeez. Anyway, we'll be giving away tickets to Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium September 2nd, 2026. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. We'll be doing that in the 1 o'clock hour. Of course, we have today's biggest fan of the 1 o'clock hour also, as we'll talk more about Aztecs basketball later on, and we'll talk some Padres baseball throughout the show. But right now in the first hour, it's a lot of recapping what happened last night. And I do want to get into some player spotlights of last night's game. But Frank, let's get your overall reaction to what happened last night at Snapdragon Stadium.
It was certainly a tense environment for those watching. A great game, unbelievable match played by both sides, and you could see the ability to possess the ball and attack that San Diego FC has, and the elite defense that Minnesota United has. And when you have Canada's number one goalkeeper, who's going to be going to the World Cup next year, as your goalkeeper, you can kind of see why you would want the game to be as tight as possible, why you would want the game to go to penalty kicks. They went to penalty kicks with Dallas, I believe, twice, and won both of them. So that the later that game went tied, whether it be 0-0 or 1-1 or whatever, would have really put a lot of strain on San Diego FC and would have put a lot of momentum towards Minnesota United. The defensive play by Ian Pilcher was unbelievable. They talked about it on the post-game show. The plays that you saw made by the young players on the defensive line for San Diego FC were above and beyond the years that those guys are. I believe the oldest one was maybe 23, and that's not counting McVeigh. Those guys played well above what they should be playing at this age. The play that Pilcher made to know, okay, there's a chance I'm going to be needed to back this up here. And then you can see in the slow motion replay from in the net, he's having to try to plant his hands down in certain spots to one, be able to stay upright, two, not touch the ball. He has to get his knee behind the ball because when he makes the initial slide, the ball is still rolling towards the goal after that. So he has to get up, get his knee behind the ball, and plus try to brace himself and try to keep himself upright and not bring his hand down on the ball. And then no one else was back there. He had to get up and clear it too. So that was just an all around. You can say the late stage goals in the opening match against LA Galaxy. You could say the game winner against the LA Galaxy here. You could say Milan Ilowski's hat trick in Vancouver as the play of the year. San Diego FC goes no further without that play from Ian Pilcher last night. That right there is the play of the year. And if they do go on and beat Vancouver next Saturday night, and then go on to beat whether it be Inter Miami or New York City FC the Saturday after that, that will be the reason why, is that one singular moment. And just so you guys are aware, if it is San Diego versus New York City FC, I am all San Diego FC. Be like rooting for the Yankees. I can't do that. I'm a New York Red Bulls guy.
Oh, there you go. If it was the Red Bulls, who knows? The Frank would be torn.
You know what? With how enamored I have been with San Diego FC this year, it'd probably still be I'd probably still take San Diego FC over the Red Bulls.
As it should be. You have your own international teams to root for, too.
Yeah.
So it's probably fun. All right. A couple of things. I mean, a lot of talking points. I kind of want to just get this one out of the way. A lot of complaints about the pitch last night.
Oh, boy, were there.
And the thing is, it wasn't up to great standards. But at the same time, unless they build their own stadium and play in their own stadium where they can control who plays there, I don't know how you fix this unless they're constantly changing the turf all the time. With San Diego State playing, San Diego State's got to play football games there. It's their stadium, right? So, like, football destroys fields. It does, especially with any type of weather and rain. We've had rain the last, couple of weeks, right? So there was a lot of that going on. Now, here's the other thing, too. If San Diego FC wins and they make it to the final, do they automatically get to host?
I believe
because they're the 1 seed.
I honestly don't.
And the 3 and the 5 or whatever on the other side.
Yeah, the 3 and the 5 are on the east. I honestly don't know. That would be a question for Drake. I don't remember if last year it was between the LA Galaxy and the Red Bulls. The game was played in LA. I don't know if that was the pre-planned site and the Galaxy just ended up playing at home, or if it's
based on the Supporter Shield standings.
So then that probably would be Miami then.
So Miami's got the most with 65.
Yeah,
so if Miami wins, San Diego's going to Miami. If Miami loses, then San Diego will host.
Okay, so there you go. But yeah, another thing that I wanted to really bring up, because a lot of people, there's a good amount of people who are being exposed to soccer for the first time, and with this team being as good as they are, starting to really get into it. One thing I think was really good last night, and it even surprised me kind of early in the game, having watched soccer for years, you could still see the lines from San Diego State from the other night, and it just shows the massive size of a soccer pitch, that you could probably fit 2 college football fields side by side next to each other in the size of one soccer pitch. So that was interesting to me.
Even at the high school.
Yeah.
We use the soccer line for like the get back line,
Yep.
like the line that the kids have to stand behind on the sides.
Yeah.
So and I see it a lot for USD, because USD has football and soccer, but they have so many events at Turo Stadium. They try their best to keep the field up, but at this point in the year, the field's not great.
No,
because you've had football and you've had men's and women's soccer. And that's what Snapdragon has, because they have the Wave playing, they have MLS playing, and they have football playing. And here's the conversation. If San Diego State wins on Friday against New Mexico, they're hosting the Mountain West Championship game on December 5th. If Miami loses, if Inter Miami loses and San Diego FC wins, they're hosting the MLS Cup Championship
here.
The very next day.
Yep.
It's the next day. So, and here's the other thing, too. That game is set for 11:30
in the afternoon.
Well,
11:30 in the morning. But yeah.
Yes. So, and that Mountain West game is going to be at night.
You gotta.
You're gonna think about the turnaround that's going to be.
Yeah, that's a tight one.
You can't change the turf. That is a somewhat likely scenario.
And that's what you'll hear it in the post game interviews with Yeppe and Anders. They both said that this pitch was unfit to go here tonight. But you heard the factual statement coming from the broadcast all night. They're saying, yeah, this pitch is not great. It doesn't look good. But you had torrential rain all week long here, which is something that San Diego does not really have to deal with ever. And you had 2 Division I college football games played on this field. So
and one of them played in the actual rain.
Yeah, this was an extreme circumstance for this field, and San Diego FC and Snapdragon officials said this will not happen again. the pitch will not be in this state again. But yeah, it to me, it didn't look like it affected the guys too much on either side, but you'll hear it in the post game conversations that they were they were definitely a little irked by it.
We played in the CIF championship game last year at Snapdragon Stadium where they had to redo all the turf before the high school football kids played because it was even worse last year.
Yeah, and Wander Ruiz in the chat said it right too. The Wave actually canceled games there because the turf was so bad.
Right. I mean, it's just not great all the time. And I don't know how they fixed it. They even changed the grass, right? They went to some of the grass.
Yeah, they went to different type of grass.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, if they move the season to the other part of the year, right?
Yeah,
you're only going to have to deal with
2027.
If that's the case, then it's only like the beginning part, right? When would they start the season?
It would be like right around August, September. So you're going to be the beginning of the MLS season is going to coincide somewhat closely with the beginning of college football. Yeah,
but the beginning of the MLS season, you'll have the bad turf, and then when it matters. You're not going to have to worry about it. You will be the only show on the turf, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's a solution for a lot of the grass fields. And again, it's not like you can, roll a turf field in because they're not going to do that for soccer. I don't think the football team wants to do that either. It's better to play on grass. You can't have two separate fields. I mean, unless San Diego FC builds their own stadium, which they could do, I just find it hard to believe that it's going to be easy to fix a lot of the grass. They want to build a 50,000 plus seat stadium down there.
Well, just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
It's overused in the fall. There's a lot of events going on down there.
Yeah, and then in the winter, you also have to worry about it getting covered up. Now, they did say again these changes for the MLS, as far as the calendar change, go into effect after next season. So they're not getting a full year off this year. That's going to be happening next year. But you also have to think in the wintertime, it's getting covered because Monster Jam's going to be there. Supercross is going to be there.
How about somebody in the chat goes, have the Aztecs play at Petco? Excuse me?
That'll go over well.
Excuse me? Let's have the people that own the stadium not play in their stadium? Like, come on, dude. What? Well, they're not as good. They don't get as many people at their games. They own the stadium.
It's not a bad place to watch a soccer or football game. I will say that.
It's a great stadium. Nice. It's just people are used to Qualcomm and a bigger one, and it's fine. But it's a nice stadium.
I've seen. Well, I mean, obviously the Holiday Bowl that's been there the last couple of years, but also saw an exhibition match. I believe it was Tijuana versus America.
Yeah, I went to that. That was fun.
That was good.
Right. So I mean, San Diego FC could try to play it, but I don't think that environment would be good either.
I mean, you could theoretically do it, especially if they're going to be playing during the baseball off season. But
if they're playing in August and the Padres are never going to let them play during the playoffs.
I agree 100%. I'm just
saying. That's why the Padres built their own stadium in the first place, so they didn't have to share it with the Chargers anymore.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying it could theoretically happen. I don't think it ever would, but it could theoretically work.
It's time. Maybe they need another one. All right. Couple of things. Player spotlights. Anders Dreyer, game-winning goal. Already the MLS Newcomer of the Year. Finalist for the MLS MVP, the Landon Donovan Award, emerging as the face of the franchise in year one. I mean, there's only so much you could say about this guy, but he just continues to put up accolade after accolade after accolade. It would be nice to see him win the MVP, Frank. I think it's going to be hard, but I think he's definitely one of the players that deserves it the most.
But Lionel Messi. That's really it. That's the only thing keeping him from winning the MLS MVP is but Lionel Messi.
Unsung hero last night, Cisniega.
Yeah, he did make a couple of crucial saves. Pilcher, aside from Pilcher's one play, he was also really, really good on that back line. Duo was also really, really good on that back line. You didn't hear too much out of McVay. Honestly, it was the other two that were really taking up a lot of it. But I would say I would give the edge to Cisniega.
Yeah, I think he was the unsung hero. I mean, I think a lot of people knew. I mean, Pilcher, that was arguably one of his best matches as a pro.
Oh, 100%.
Multiple
yes.
critical defense interventions. I mean, he was phenomenal last night for San Diego FC. And then the other thing, too, is, and I think we got to do this going to break. I mean, what do you do with Chucky Lozano?
Like I said, I don't think
we'll talk about it when we come back. I mean, he didn't start. Crowd repeatedly chanted for his name. Limited minutes off the bench. High drama around his availability continues. I mean, what does San Diego FC do with Chucky Lozano moving forward? We'll talk about that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour 97 to the fans brought to you by Mission Fed. From first accounts to big life moments, Mission Fed can help. Saving shouldn't be stressful. Mission Fed makes it easier with great rates on savings certificates and ultra money market accounts. Grow your money the smart way. Check the latest rates and open an account at missionfed.com. Membership and account criteria apply. Lots to get to on the show. Again, later on, we're going to talk about the new hires for the San Diego Padres as Craig Stammen is filling out his staff. What to know about the new faces that will be at Petco Park. We'll talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour. Big trade happened earlier today. Sonny Gray on his way to Boston. We'll have all the details about that and latest rumors around free agency and trades as the stove is starting to heat up a little bit in Major League Baseball. We'll also talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour. And Pirates and Marlins are threatening to spend money on players?
Wait a minute. What? Y'all can't do that.
Wait a second.
Y'all can't do that.
Is anybody actually buying that? We'll talk about that in the 11 o'clock hour as well. We got more to talk about with Aztecs basketball in the noon hour. We'll talk some high school football later on in the show today as well. Lots to get to on the Braden Surprenant show. But the story of the day and the story of last night was San Diego FC and advancing in the MLS Cup playoffs. Before we get to some of these questions, and most notably with what do you do with Chucky Lozano now, let's get to some of the post-game sound after San Diego FC won 1-0 over Minnesota United FC. With the win, San Diego FC will now play the Vancouver Whitecaps on Saturday, November 29th at 6 o'clock at Snapdragon Stadium in the Western Conference Final. They will, if they win on Saturday, will take on either Inter Miami, or New York City FC in the MLS Cup Final on Saturday, December 6th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Now, that being said, if Inter Miami wins, San Diego FC will be going to Inter Miami. If New York City FC wins, then San Diego FC will be hosting New York City FC. And it's the same thing for Vancouver. So essentially, if Inter Miami wins, they host. If New York City FC wins, they're going to go to the Western Conference winner. Pretty simple with that. But last night, a 1-0 winner. San Diego only had one shot on goal, and it connected by Anders Dreyer. Let's hear from Anders Dreyer as he spec'd with Andrew Wiebe last night after the game.
Anders, the people in front of us are chanting MVP for their leading scorer and the game winner in this Western Conference semifinal. What does that goal mean to you?
Oh, a lot. We're in the final now. It wasn't pretty today. We know against Minnesota it's difficult. Pitch was not perfect, but we worked hard, and mentality was warrior, and then I think we worked hard and got the 1-0, and it was enough.
Corey backheels that to you. You see the ball rolling. What is going through your mind?
Hit it as hard as possible and give the goalkeeper less chance as possible. I hit it very good and had a good feeling. Nice to see it go in, and what a pass from Corey.
This season has been magic for San Diego, for you, for this city. What does it feel like to know that you are 2 games away from MLS Cup and you will host the decider to get there in this stadium in front of these fans?
Amazing. Like atmosphere today was amazing. After the game as well, in the game, before the game. Now we have some days to prepare, and then we are ready for, I think it's Saturday.
MVP, huh? What do you think?
It's up to you guys.
Thank you, Honors.
Honors Dreyer, we had him on the show, and we talked about that. Like, what does it mean to be in the conversation? It's a very humbling experience for him to be in the conversation of guys like Lionel Messi, to be an MVP of a league, in a league that has Messi in said league. So for him, I mean, just like he said, up to you guys. He's here to play. I love the fact that they call him Mr. San Diego right now. It was a great goal call, as he had a great night last night for San Diego FC. We'll talk about him in just a little bit. But Yepi Tverskov also spoke with Andrew Wiebe last night after the win.
San Diego FC are going to the Western Conference Final. And before we rolled the camera, you said one thing to me. It's not always pretty. How'd you guys get this done tonight?
Yeah, we came out to this pitch. I think it's been playing a game here 2 days ago, and the pitch is basically broken, which it's not to our advantage. But tonight we proved that Warrior is not only team who play long balls, but also people who can play. And I felt like the whole game was being patient, and yeah, we did it.
You carpool to and from training with Honors. He is one of your best friends. When that ball is rolling to his feet, what is going through your mind?
Yeah, he's the guy you want in the box to shoot or finish the attacks, and he's been doing that the whole season. And that's not only him; it's the team that knows it. We set him up perfectly, a lot of times. So he values us a lot. We value him, of course, a lot, and yeah, it makes it a great season.
One more game, and you'll be on your way to MLS Cup. You will play that game in this stadium against the Vancouver Whitecaps. What does that moment mean in an expansion season for San Diego?
Yeah, Vancouver and us has been in the top the whole season basically. So we kind of eyed it from the beginning. They have a very, very strong team. Had addition also coming in during the season, so it's been even more tough. It's gonna be a great game. Like this stadium has been wild in the whole season, especially in playoff. I know you can feel it too. It's been crazy. So yeah, we can't wait for more games.
My understanding is that your wife's due date is tomorrow. What's more special, going to the Western Conference Final or awaiting your daughter's birth?
I'm probably not going to be popular with my wife if I say anything else. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's been knowing the dates now for a week or so. It's been kind of weird for us, It's two so big occasions. So yeah, what 24 hours will be.
Congratulations, Yeppe.
Thank you.
Yepi Tverskov. We talked about the field again. I mean, we talked about the field, and then it's got to be worse if Inter Miami loses and San Diego FC wins. I mean, I don't know how you can make that field better after an Aztec potential Mountain West Championship game. And as Sam said in the chat, they're going to paint the S out of that field.
Unless
with Mountain West logos and all sorts of stuff.
I mean, the only other option you have is to have like a literal army there ready to tear it up and put a new one down.
But even then, it's not enough. You can't play on turf that fast. It doesn't set fast enough. Would never happen.
I mean, that's the only other. I mean, that's the only other thing. You're going to play on a whooped field again.
All right, let's talk about some of the storylines from last night's game. San Diego outpossessed Minnesota, but Minnesota outshot them. This was about timely playmaking, not volume of chances. Usually, it's try to create as many chances as possible, but San Diego FC just needed that one chance, Frank.
Yeah, that's all you need to give a team like this. And San Diego FC, when they got that chance, they also had 5 corners to 1 for Minnesota United. So the set pieces were also talked about.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, limiting Minnesota United's ability on set pieces. They did it very, very well. There were a couple of tense moments on spot kicks, but other than that, it was limited. But yeah, I mean, overall for San Diego FC, they knew what they needed to do. They took their shot and made it count when it came to them.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. Minnesota had scored 41% of their goals on set pieces. Yes. And by limiting that, you really did a good job. But they also defensively, the defensive plays were amazing last night.
And they mentioned it they mentioned it on the broadcast as well. When Anders Dreyer scored his goal, it was around the same time that Minnesota scored their goal in their match against September that they won 3-1. San Diego FC had so many chances in the first half, a couple goals called back for offside, a couple goals disallowed for other reasons. And just Minnesota kept it close, and then exploded for like 3 goals in 10 minutes. I mean, that was where San Diego FC lost that game. And it was right around the same time, that 72nd minute, where Minnesota scored in September to win their game. San Diego gave it right back to them.
The other thing too, I thought the crowd last night wasn't just loud. I mean, they were an influencing part of the match. Yeah, the Snapdragon Stadium has been a great place for the MLS and a great place for San Diego FC all season long.
Yeah, and we've talked about it all year long that for San Diego FC, the most important thing that they could have done this year was not come out and lay an egg. You didn't have to win. You didn't have to do what you're doing right now. You just couldn't be uncompetitive. But the fact that they have done what they have done this year has gotten this city firmly behind them. And I don't, that was the best thing they could have done. Not just get here, but just be competitive and be a team that was fun to watch and a good team. It's exactly what they've done. They hit this opening year out of the park.
Talk about the Dreyer Beard connection that has been becoming a nice combo for San Diego FC. I mean, what a pickup getting the local kid Corey Beard as part of the program.
Yeah, we had him on the show as well right after he came over from Cincinnati, who just got knocked out of the playoff this weekend.
Didn't play originally when he came over. He got an opportunity.
Because Ilosky was there.
Right.
Ilosky was in the spot. And then when Ilosky went to the Philadelphia Union, then Baird it left a gap. And there was a gap at that striker position. And I think I was there for Baird's first start in that striker spot. He ended up getting hurt. It was right after we had him on the show. And you could tell he may not be your prototypical goal scorer for that striker spot, but he has a creative mind. He is a playmaker. He's a distributor. He knows that those two guys to his outside, whether it be Dreyer and Lozano or Dreyer and Pellegrino, they are going to get the job done if he just supports them. And you could tell from his first start that Baird was going to be a wonderful offensive creator out of that striker spot, and he has continued to do so.
Let's talk about Chucky Lozano for a second, because we got a couple of minutes. Being available late but not starting is officially a storyline going into the conference final. That has been the case the last couple of weeks. And now it's as Drake mentioned yesterday, I think the drama is gone. But now, as mentioned before, I mean, Pellegrino's done a great job in place of Chucky Lozano. And so now you get to the point of, you brought in Chucky Lozano to be the star of this team. Anders Dreyer has taken over as star of the team, and it's a conversation now of, should you start Chucky Lozano because he is that star you're paying for? Or if he's not good enough to be in that starting 11, is he out there? Should he play just because he's Chucky Lozano? How do you use Chucky Lozano moving forward? I mean, right now you're having success with him coming as a sub.
I just want to use the comparison. I'm not saying that they're this type of players. Did Drew Bledsoe get another shot after Tom Brady came in?
No.
Sometimes you work yourself out of a spot, and I don't think that this is disciplinary anymore.
No, it's not. I think the drama is over.
Yeah, the disciplinary stuff has come and gone. That's all settled. I think it's literally just a case of Pellegrino has the hot foot. He is the better player right now. He is the more prolific player right now, and it's hard to take that guy out of the lineup when he has been as good and when he has been as helpful as he has been. And from what it sounded like, they told a story during the game that he wanted to come here, They saw a spot during the summer transfer period where it could happen. Pellegrino immediately said, do what you have to do, get it done. And they're reportedly from what they were talking about on the broadcast last night, that they're working on a contract extension to keep Pellegrino here because he wants to be here. He wants to stay. And Lozano, he is that star. He was that name that you needed in order to draw players in, to draw fans in. But injuries, that disciplinary issue took him out of the lineup, and they've found a replacement that they weren't necessarily looking for, but they got it. And Lozano, even as good as he is in the starting lineup, that's a dangerous piece to have coming off the bench as well.
It is. I mean, it could be used as an asset too for San Diego FC, but it's just an interesting case right now. But I'd be kind of surprised if Lozano's back next year.
I would be as well.
I mean, at this point in time, I mean, he's going to want to be in a place where he's playing, and obviously he's probably not at 100% right now. He's battled a lot of injuries in his career, and I think it's an interesting conversation. I mean, you've had different opinions on it, but like, I think either way works. I mean, Drake Hill said you got to get your best lineup out there, and you got to go with. I mean, Chucky on paper is one of your better players, but at the same time, you also kind of have to play the hot hand.
Yep.
So that's going to be an interesting storyline going into the game on Saturday, as San Diego FC is one win away from making it to the MLS Cup final in their first year of existence. What a phenomenal story San Diego FC is. We're going to shift gears and talk a little baseball when we come back in the 11 o'clock hour. Big trade happened in the sport today. Jeff Passan was on it. We'll talk about it when we come back. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's remote sports station. 97.3 The Fan. Talked a lot of San Diego FC in the first hour. If you missed any of it, you can go back and watch on YouTube. You can also go back wherever you get your podcasts and tune into that as well. We'll be continuing that and get you ready for, tomorrow. We'll have to get our preview in for their next game. It's on Saturday. It's a quick turnaround for San Diego FC as they host Vancouver in the MLS Cup playoffs. So we'll talk about that later on again, probably more tomorrow. We got some baseball we want to dive into later on in the show. We'll talk Aztec basketball. We got some high school football in action tonight. Lots to get to on the Braden Surprenant Show, but we got some news in Major League Baseball. Let's get to the hot stove that we do each and every day at 11 o'clock.
Well, thereabouts at 11 o'clock. First, it gets done every day. All right, big news this morning. Vocal about the needs to add an established starting pitcher to slot in behind ace Garrett Crochet in the rotation. Red Sox Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow achieved that goal on Tuesday by adding veteran right-hander and three-time All-Star Sonny Gray in a trade with the St. Louis Cardinals. The full trade, the Boston Red Sox will receive Sonny Gray and cash for left-handed pitcher Brandon Clark, right-handed pitcher Richard Fitz, a player to be named later, or cash. So that is the deal that went down this morning. Gray had to waive his no-trade clause in order for the deal to cross the finish line.
Yeah, good news for Gray. I mean, the Cardinals look like they're shredding payroll still. So the Cardinals only have two guys under contract. Everybody else is arbitration or not yet eligible for arbitration. Did you know that?
Yes.
The two players are Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras. Yep. Arenado's got 2 years left. He's a free agent. Mm-hmm. He counts for $30 million against the luxury tax.
They will desperately be trying to ship him off again this offseason.
The other one, too, is Wilson Contreras. He's got 2 years left. He's 33 years old. He's $17.5 million towards the cap. So, and he's got 2 years and a club option. But those are the only two guys that are under contract for the Cardinals who are trying to go young. Estimated payroll now only $108 million. And if you're Sonny Gray, you get out of St. Louis, you get to go to a contender in Boston, who was expected. They were expected to be the American League representative in the World Series last year. They got a good, solid team. They do have some age up there. Sonny Gray now becomes their highest paid player on the Red Sox. His AAV towards the cap is $41 million. $31 million this year, 2026, and they have a $30 million mutual option next year in 2027. How much money are the Cardinals sending? Did it say?
No, it did not give specific numbers.
It looks like $20 million.
Yeah, $20 million to cover part of Gray's salary for 2026 and the buyout of his $30 million club option for 27. So it looks like $50 million or something.
Wow, that's nice.
Or I don't know if it's $50 million or
the
if
potential
it's
buyout's $10 million next year.
So $30 million.
Yeah.
Or something.
So they're gonna get the $10 million back next year if the buyout happens. Okay, that makes sense. So they're only gonna pay him $11 million this year.
Not bad.
He's getting 31, and they're probably not going to agree. I don't know. Who knows how good the season is? I mean, if they pick up that $30 million option,
things will happen.
And Sonny Gray pick, I highly doubt mutual options never happen anyway.
No.
And a $30 million mutual option, there's no way that happens. I mean, Sonny Gray has to pitch his ass off, and then after that has to just be like, I'm cool with $30 million at age 37 years old.
I know it keeps going to this, but especially with what's coming next offseason, I cannot imagine the Red Sox latching themselves to that contract. Sonny Gray would pick that option up. I don't think the Red Sox will.
Correct. But interesting move. So the Red Sox got the starting pitcher they were looking for.
Yes, they did.
Or at least one of the starting pitchers that they were looking for. But with him and Garrett Crochet, it's a nice little 1-2 punch there for the Boston Red Sox.
And remember, Garrett Crochet's locked down. He signed a long-term extension with Boston shortly after the season started.
Yeah, he's a free agent in 2032.
Correct. The Mets are not done. After trading Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, the Mets now have an outfielder vacancy. Boy, do they ever. and are weighing internal options as well as high-end free agents like Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger. Despite moving their longest tenured player, New York still hopes to re-sign Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz, though the contract length concerns are complicating talks with Diaz. If they can't retain him, the Mets may shift quickly to other top closers such as Devin Williams or Robert Suarez. Williams, who starred for the Yankees in 2025, is drawing interest from roughly a dozen teams, including the Dodgers, Red Sox, Tigers, Giants, Reds, and of course, the Yankees.
Out of those three, I gotta see how old Devin Williams. How old is Devin Williams?
He's not ridiculously old.
No, he's on the younger end, I would imagine.
Late 20s, early 30s.
As I look it up on Fangraphs right now, I mean, out of the group right there, the best one to me is Devin Williams. I know he struggled in New York with the Yankees, but
again, that was also after Pete Alonso ended his career.
Right. Edwin Diaz is 32. Robert Suarez is 35. Devin Williams is 31.
It's sounding like the Mets want to keep him on a short-term deal, him being Diaz, pronouns, pal. And Diaz wants a longer stint.
I'd take Devin Williams if I'm the Mets. I'd let Edwin Diaz walk, and I'd take Devin Williams. According to Fangraphs, the projected contract for Edwin Diaz would be a 4-year, $84 million deal at $21 million towards the luxury tax. Devin Williams is expected to get a 3-year, $42 million deal at $14 million. I'd save the money. I'd go after Devin Williams so I can re-sign the polar bear from the New York Mets.
My first priority would be re-signing Pete Alonso.
And if Robert Suarez was younger, I'd sign Robert Suarez. But because Robert Suarez is only going to cost you an extra $1 million, but he's projected to get a 2-year, $30 million deal according to Fangraphs. But again, he's 35 years old.
Well, let's dive a little bit deeper into Devin Williams because the Yankees, as I mentioned a second ago, are open to bringing him back. Devin Williams' first season with the Yankees was turbulent, featuring early struggles, a demotion from the closer role, and an eventual reboot before another downturn. He finished with a 4.79 ERA through underlying metrics such as a 3.09 xERA, expected ERA, and 2.68 FIP suggested he pitched far better than the results showed. Despite the uneven year, Williams is drawing heavy free agent interest from about 12 organizations pursuing him, as listed a moment ago.
Including all the major organizations that spend a lot of money and the Reds.
Yes. New York has already spoken with his camp about a possible reunion, and Williams' dominant late-season stretch has bolstered his confidence that he can return to his elite Brewers form.
I think he can. If I'm the Mets, I'm making a competitive offer to get Devin Williams.
Yeah.
Hopefully ends up on the Yankees. Because I don't have to deal with him in the National League. But whatever. To me, out of the three closers, I'd take a chance on Devin Williams over the other guys. I would. I think it would cost too much money. And we saw, the Edwin Diaz deal was okay. The last one he signed.
Yeah.
But I can't see you giving Robert Suarez a ton of money. Now, here's the other thing too. So they have projected WAR for next year. Edwin Diaz is expected to get a 1.3 projected WAR according to Fangraphs. Robert Suarez is 0.8. Devin Williams is 0.8. Do we agree with that? I think Devin Williams is going to be the best out of the three.
He very well could be. We know what his potential is. We know what he can be.
And none of them are going to be better than Mason Miller. So does it really matter? Moving on to the next one.
Well, we had mentioned this yesterday. The San Francisco Giants have quickly emerged as a potential suitor for Japanese right-hander Tatsuya Imai, who was posted by the Cebu Lions and has until January 2nd to sign with an MLB team. After missing out on past Japanese stars like Yamamoto, Otani, and Kodai Senga, San Francisco is again targeting a high-end international pitcher as it looks to strengthen its rotation behind Logan Webb and Robbie Ray. Imai ranked the number 11 free agent by MLB.com's Mark Feinsand, is coming off a dominant NPB season with a 1.92 ERA over 163. And don't you dare forget about those 2 third innings.
Well, based on everything that Imai has said, and I take it with a grain of salt, because I think a lot of players say things and then money talks more than the conversation that the players have. And to me, and this is a show that's actions speak louder than words show, until he actually signs, we'll see where everything plays out. But for me, what Amaya has said in terms of wants to be, doesn't necessarily have to be on a team with other Japanese players.
So you
Wants to
prefer
be on a
not to be.
team. Yeah, wants to be on a team that, he wants to take down the Los Angeles Dodgers. Most of these players want to be closer to home, as close to home as possible, especially side of the West Coast. I mean, all the criteria fit the San Francisco Giants, but I'll believe it when I see it, because the Giants, who have missed out on so many different players, until they sign somebody and talk about all the money they're going to spend, it just falls on deaf ears. So maybe he'll be a Giant, maybe he'll be a Seattle Mariner.
To be fair,
But the Giants fit all the descriptions.
To be fair, Imai has not said anything about wanting to stay on the West Coast. He has said the other two things, but wanting to be on the West Coast, that's not something that Imai has said. Cody, by the way, is loving the Ben.
I know I've done this a
you.
couple of times while you're talking to display. I can't bend my hand like that.
Also, how quickly we forget that the Giants won the trade deadline.
That's right. Remember that. Jim Bowden said that.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, if Jim Bowden says it, then
Jim Bowden's got 3 Sirius XM radio shows, so he must know what he's done.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's on. I heard him on a fantasy football show. He has a fantasy show where he talks about his fantasy football pickups. People listen to Jim Bowden for fantasy football advice. He gets paid to tell people about fantasy football.
Yeah.
I like our guy Eddie Brown.
I was going to say we get paid to call somebody to talk about fantasy football, but
Eddie Brown's an expert.
Yeah, he is.
Jim Bowden is a failed general manager in Major League Baseball.
Oh, you didn't have to say it like that.
I know.
Jesus.
I know. My apologies.
Speaking of failed general managers in Major League Baseball, the Baltimore Orioles.
Hey, Birdland.
Aha! After trading for Taylor Ward and signing Leody Taveras, the Orioles now have a crowded outfield that already includes Tyler O'Neill, Colton Cowser, and Dylan Beavers.
We have a cow, Cowser, and a beaver?
No.
They got to trade Tyler O'Neill just for the sake of finding some other farm animal name an animal name.
All in Birdland, by the way.
In Birdland. Hey, Birdland.
Despite this, they are still considering pursuing former Astros star Kyle Tucker.
That doesn't have an animal name.
No.
It's not going to work.
Adding Tucker would significantly boost the lineup. Boy, would it. And also give Baltimore more leverage to trade from its outfield depth to address its biggest need, pitching.
I will believe, and we're going to talk about this in the next segment. Like some rival executives have said about the Pirates and the Marlins' surprising spending push. I will believe it when I see it.
It's almost like they're trying to get compliant with a salary floor before it actually happens.
Or they're trying to show that they actually spend money as part of the labor negotiations.
It's like there's a bottom that they're trying to get over.
Well, remember, they talked about the Pirates had an offer for Josh Naylor. And then what happened last night? What was the news? They didn't actually physically have an offer for Josh Naylor.
See. Those reports are always misleading. You can't always go off of insider sources because they have a reason to lie. You see.
Okay. I didn't know Big Ten Frank was also small market Frank.
Oh, this is
small market PR firm Frank with the Marlins and the Buccos.
Listen, you gotta read the fine print sometimes, man. It's all about the fine print.
I will believe it when I see it. Just like this next report about the Pirates and the Marlins' surprising spending push. The Marlins are interested in Michael King. Are they going to be able to sign Michael King? Plus, what agents think is behind the Pirates and the Marlins, quote, wanting to spend more? We'll talk about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station 97 through the Fan. can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays to the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. From your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Getting back into Landman season 2. I missed the first episode and then I watched the second. I gotta go back and watch the first episode of season 2.
Why would you watch the
My
second
family was
episode
watching
or the
it.
first one?
My family was watching it. I was behind. I'm
So
behind
you
already. I'll go back
leave
and back.
the room.
The first episode was basically a recap of the first season. Okay, so wasn't too much I needed to get into. I did miss all the TCU references, though. There's now subtle ones. I tell you what, the Big 12 Conference has to love Landman because there's just all these Big 12 teams involved. Billy Bob Thornton's son is a Texas Tech dropout. Even he was like a semester away. He was like 2 classes away from graduating in the show. Should have just kept it. Texas Tech knows how to produce oil people, let me tell you.
The classic, I would have gone pro if I hadn't hurt my knee bit, you know.
He dropped out so he could start learning the oil business. Well, dude, just finish the 2 classes and just... the logic doesn't make sense.
Take half semester classes, dude.
And now Billy Bob Thornton's daughter in the show is going to TCU. So they even did the Riff Ram chant. I started doing it with her when she was doing it on the thing.
God.
My friend got exposed to the Riff Ram chant at the BYU game because I think the active students or just graduated students that were in our section started to do the Riff Ram chant before the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the Riff Ram chant?
I believe I've heard it, but
they do this stupid like arm thing that they make all the freshmen do, like in the student section.
Yeah.
I will not be doing that. But I started doing the chant. Riff, ram, bazoo, licky, licky, zoo, zoo, hoo, wah, wah, hoo, give him hell, TCU.
Yeah, no, I have seen that.
So she's doing that. She's pretending to be a cheerleader. She hasn't, because she got accepted, I guess. Bad look for us on that deal. But you know what? I got to miss all the TCU references. But I mean, I knew this was going to happen because we got the email. I got the email about they were needing extras for the TCU campus shots. John Hamm's daughter ran track at TCU in the first season. Again, they're characters in the in Landman. It's a good show. I enjoy it. So there'll be another episode on Sunday.
By the way,
and I got to catch up by watching episode 1.
We mentioned it in the chat before we get back to the baseball stuff.
He draws the foul.
Who's the foul?
J-Dub's in the chat.
Jake Waters. Bringing the mood down, man.
We were good. We were having fun. It was a great day. I learned some news about Smokey 11 that I kept to myself because I didn't want to ruin the fun for everybody else. We talked soccer for an hour. We were vibing. We were having a good day. And then Jake Waters in the chat comes in with Gamma, the Galapagos tortoise, dies at the San Diego Zoo at 141.
Unbelievable.
Way to just bring everything down.
Yeah. Don't make me talk about TCU football. I'll bring the mood down even more.
Yeah. And now for that, Smokey 11 has been relieved of his duties as team mascot. He was apparently too shy a boy to be a team mascot. So they're going to be off to Smokey 12 now.
How about this report?
Go live your shy boy life.
How about this report in college football? From Stephen M. Johnson, who covers TCU for Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Sonny Dykes says TCU has already scouted 200 plus players that, quote, may enter the portal. Haven't been in the portal yet.
Oh boy.
That's a conversation that's already interesting. So last night.
That sounds like a lot of time wasting to me.
Yeah. So last night, Frank, we had one of our former players at the team meal.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, like, now you have to get signed on with an agency if you want to have any chance in the transfer portal. And the agency starts reaching out to teams about interest in players before they enter the portal. This is like a common thing going on. Is that not the most like crazy thing you've ever heard? To me, that was crazy. And now it's like in the open that like Sonny Dykes is talking about they're already evaluating players that, quote, may enter the portal, which means all these agents are talking to all these teams, all these schools about their players leaving to jump into the portal to find more money and different things. That was the same conversation that happened a couple of weeks ago where they had the report that Sam Levitt, the quarterback for Arizona State, not our Sam Levitt, his camp was, quote, shopping his services around. What in the college football is going on? I mean, it's like, could you imagine this is in the NFL? All these players that are about to be free agents just starting to like shop around right now, see what they got out there.
Yeah, what's up?
Could you imagine these players that have like player club options just talking to other teams? This is ongoing in college football right now, which here's the other thing. That's why I brought it up in the first place. We'll talk about the baseball back in a second. If you're setting, how do you compete with that if you're not a Power 4 school? There's no rules. Wyoming's coach was bitching about that today.
Power 5. Again.
No, the power.
Put some respect on the Power Act-12. Please.
I can't, because one of your premier programs in basketball just competed against the Power 4 team and lost by 40 freaking points.
That's in a different sport.
It doesn't matter.
Different sport.
It doesn't matter. The Power 4 team, Power 4 Michigan's got $12 million to spend. San Diego State's got $2.5 million to spend.
It's because they're in the Mountain West.
We bitch, moan, and complain about it in Major League Baseball. It's actively ongoing in college athletics right now, in the open. How do you compete with that? How? You can't. Because now these teams, these higher level teams, these Power 4 teams can overpay for players that probably don't deserve the money that they're getting offered, and they just pluck them from these lower teams. But I look at it, and it's funny. Wyoming's coach, Wyoming's head football coach was bitching about Boise State and San Diego State outspending him. Boise State's got like $4.5 million they could spend on their football team. They didn't get the specifics, but the Wyoming coach has a quote talking about how he talked with Sean Lewis, and it sounded like he said, quote, it's not nickels and dimes that San Diego State's working with. Their football team's getting some type of money. They had to keep Trey White last year. But even that's not going to be enough. I mean, this is insane in college athletics.
It
insane.
Really is. It's obscene.
You got kids signing on with agencies, and they're getting shopped at. How do you... And you wonder why nobody's going to games. We got this player era festival on television in studio right now. There is nobody there.
For Notre Dame, which is a very good basketball program, and Rutgers.
I mean, Notre Dame and Rutgers are like near the middle to bottom of the Power 4 and when it comes to basketball, but they're still brand names, right? They're big schools, and I know the matchups are good, and all the national media pundits are talking about how great the players era is and all this other stuff, but there's nobody at the games. You have no connection with any of the kids on the team because they leave every year. Every school's got a bunch of mercenaries playing for them. I mean, we could talk about all you want about San Diego State and getting people to go watch the Aztecs play. And at least they have some local kids on the team, and they've been able to keep some of these kids the last couple of years. And I know pricing's a different story, but you start looking around college athletics, everybody has a massive attendance problem except for maybe the SEC. But even Texas A&M was having issues trying to sell out their game against Samford last week. Jake Waters in the chat says it's Las Vegas 2 days before Thanksgiving. Who's going to be there? I agree. It's a stupid tournament. It's great for the kids.
It's stupid timing for all of these tournaments because all these tournaments are going on right now.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it's for tourism. Again, you got to realize it's like this is the time that the travel is down for certain areas in the country, aside from family stuff. You try to fill the hotels. That's why they have these tournaments in these locations. But like the attendance is bad. That's why the Rady's Children's Invitational is great because it's a smaller venue and they're going to sell it out. And it's going to be 2 games that you get and you're out. But these long dragged out tournaments in these bigger venues, it's like you're not going to get anybody to go to these games. It's a shame. I mean, next year they're talking about potentially having 32 teams in the Players Era Festival. You know what? Great for those schools that get to collect $1 million per to go play in that tournament. But they said they're going to have 16 teams play week 1. It's going to happen over 3 weeks. They're going to have 16 teams play week 1 in 2 8-team brackets. They're going to have 16 teams play in week 2 in 2 8-team brackets. And then in week 3, back in Vegas, the winners of week 1 and week 2 are going to be in this tournament. As mentioned in the chat, that's half the NCAA tournament getting played in the preseason. How do you schedule for that? I mean, what are we doing? They got to start putting in some rules for some of this stuff. It's amazing what we're at. I think eventually they're going to. But like the corporate version of college athletics is getting dumber and dumber.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we all know it's for television. But like the attendance numbers for a lot of these events, first of all, they're too expensive. And second, it's like, nobody's traveling to these things.
Just on the off chance, by the way, that anyone from True TV or TNT is listening to this, the very off chance, stay as far away from the panoramic arena shots of the MGM Grand Arena.
This RoboCam right now is kind of cool.
Do not show any camera angle that shows the amount of people that are not there, because it looks awful.
Somebody said on social media, I totally agree. Like the UConn Arizona game was great because it was on UConn's campus and it was a packed house and you feel the energy. I mean, a lot of these games you don't feel the energy, and it's tough because like all of the teams in the Players Era Festival.
What are these times too? Like I just saw Alabama's playing UNLV at midnight on the East Coast.
That was like last night. Maryland played UNLV at midnight on the East Coast.
Stupid.
That's what they have to do to get everybody in. I mean, it's like Jake Waters said. There's a lot of people not working this week, and they can watch college basketball all day long. This is for television. This is not for like the in-person deal. And the other thing too is like a lot of the Rutgers fans are there to watch Rutgers. They don't really. I mean, are they going to go to the San Diego State Oregon game tonight at 10:30? No, they're probably going to go to the casino. It's hard. It's kind of crazy with this the corporate college athletics. I mean, the entire court is an ad board. How many companies are on that court right now?
MGM Resorts, BetMGM,
Modelo, Sam's Club, Geico.
The arena name, obviously. Geico. Going around the other end.
Lily.
Lily.
Boys and Girls Club of America. I mean, the entire court is covered with ads. Plus, the tickets are ridiculous. I mean, the college athletic tickets are getting to such a high level. I mean, I was talking the other day.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Jake in the chat. SeatGeek prices for the Aztec game tonight are $115.
I was about to get to that. Here's the deal. I was talking the other day with Jack Cronin, who calls games with me for USD. And Jack was in the lottery, the multiple lotteries to get the World Cup tickets, right? Multiple lotteries to get the World Cup tickets. And he was talking about how the tickets for some of the Team USA games are like $500.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's ridiculous. And I said, I was like, for the World Cup? Have you seen what ticket prices are for college football? The guy next to me on the plane flying to Salt Lake the other day, he was a Ohio State Buckeyes fan. The more he talked, the more money I kind of discovered that he ended up having. He was looking at tickets for Michigan, Ohio State. It was like $1,200 to get in the building. Like World Cup tickets, like $500. Come on. I mean, you got to pay $115 to watch San Diego State play Oregon in college basketball. And you wonder why people aren't going to games. All of these sporting events have become so expensive that families can't go. And it's basically just like kind of, atmosphere. It's like going to Disneyland. You get to go like once. You get the plan to go like once a season to watch your team play, but they've made the product so great on television. It's hard not to just watch it on TV.
I want to put this out there now, and I'm going to get on my knees for this. Adam, Michael.
What is he doing?
Peter.
What are you doing?
If Italy.
Okay, here we go.
If Italy makes the World Cup.
You got to send the two Italians, right?
Please, I will call in every favor I'm owed and will ever owe or ever be owed if you can get me to that game. Just if Italy plays in LA, please. Anything. Please, I want to go so bad. Please.
All right, you done begging? They already hooked you up with Survivor Series tickets.
Yes, they did, which is why I can't go to San Diego FC next weekend. I was very, very annoyed with that.
What time they start? Same time?
Yeah. Survivor Series starts at 5:30. San Diego FC kicks off at 6.
A lot of people are surprised that you're able to get up.
I am too, honestly, because that was glass I was kneeling down on. That wasn't carpet. The carpet's under it.
Nice. Anyway, we're going to talk about baseball here in a second. Let's talk about we have the we're going to talk about the Padres staff changes in the noon hour. But when we come back, we're going to talk about this. What's really going on with the Pirates and the Marlins all of a sudden trying to spend money for the first time? We'll have this conversation as we return to the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97tothefan.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We're on each and every day from 10 to 2. We will be having our last show of the week tomorrow. And we got a jam-packed show tomorrow, Frank. Already.
Yeah, we do. We're going to be the best postman you've ever seen tomorrow. We've got several.
Last live show of the week, by the way, on the station.
Yes, we will have Skylar coming in tomorrow for early college football picks. We will have Eddie Brown coming on tomorrow. We're trying to get a beat writer for New Mexico to try to preview the Aztec football game coming up over the weekend. And we have just been confirmed over the last couple of minutes that we will have San Diego FC's Tyler Heaps on tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So Tyler Heaps will be joining us after San Diego FC advances to the Western Conference Final.
Yeah. So it should be a fun show tomorrow. We'll be jam-packed with a lot of different stuff. And looking forward to that. We are going to get to this baseball stuff in the noon hour. We're going to start the noon hour with the Padres staff changes. New hirings for the San Diego Padres. If you're just tuning in, this happened last night. Randy Knorr is the new bench coach, who is a 57-year-old, and was a coach for Craig Stammen, or was one of Craig Stammen's coaches with the Nationals. We'll talk more about him. He is the new bench coach of the San Diego Padres. And Steven Souza Jr., 36-year-old former big leaguer, is going to be the new hitting coach. And there's some breakdowns that we have heard Steven Souza Jr. do that we're going to play for you to give you a little bit of insight of what he brings to the table as a hitting coach. He's never done it before, but there's some reasons why it's going to be interesting to see him go out there. And I'm excited to learn a little bit more of Steven Souza Jr. At the first I was like, it's interesting. But I like I like a lot of the things that he's been working on breakdown-wise. He's a new coach and is seen as a modern data-connected hitting voice with player relatability. So should be interesting to see how this plays out. We're going to talk about that later on in the noon hour. But without further ado, it's time to figure out what else is going on in sports with today's Sports Thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, 4 stories today. What do we got?
I got 5.
You got a 5th one.
I lied.
We're ready to roll.
Yes, we are.
All right, what's going on in the sports world that doesn't involve San Diego today?
Number 1.
Brian Kelly.
Oh,
his attorney sent LSU a letter accusing the school of hurting his ability to get another coaching job by refusing to formally confirm that he was fired without cause. LSU initially dismissed Kelly in October for performance reasons, but later claimed the former AD, Scott Woodward, lacked the authority to fire him and suggested they might fire him for cause instead, which would void his $54 million buyout. Kelly has filed a legal petition asking a judge to declare that he was terminated without cause. His lawyer says LSU's shifting position and lack of clarity are damaging to his reputation during peak hiring season for college coaches. Do you think LSU is trying to avoid paying Kelly's massive buyout, or is the school justified in taking time to determine whether or not his firing was for cause?
They're trying not to pay the guy. It's 100% what's going on. Anytime the question comes down to, is it this the right thing or this the money thing? In professional sports, in college sports, and basically everything in life, it's the money thing. Yeah, they're not trying to pay him the 50-something million they owe him. They don't have that kind of money, or maybe they do. This is the same school that as they were playing in a game that they were losing at home, had a meeting up in the suites with all the boosters to account and collect money to pay the buyout to fire Brian Kelly. We think this is about them trying to justify the firing? No, they're trying to get the money. They're trying to not have to pay the guy so they can pay the new guy. Unbelievable.
I mean,
here's an idea.
It's a question mark.
How about you don't? Here's what you do. How about you don't give these guys gigantic contracts when you know they're never going to last that long or work? Not everybody's Nick Saban. Ridiculous. These colleges, man. And the boosters just pull the plug so fast on guys. Unbelievable.
I mean, I just thought I'd ask.
You knew the answer to those questions.
I did.
Number 2.
2 Phoenix Suns minority owners going from one lovable, well-working organization to another. The two Phoenix Suns minority owners, Scott Selden and Andy Kohlberg, have filed a lawsuit against team governor Matt Ishbia for mismanaging the franchise and using it to benefit his own businesses. They claim Ishbia has run the team into financial losses, conducted conflicted transactions, including high-interest loans, leasing facilities for himself, and selling arenas naming rights to his own mortgage company, and attempted to dilute their ownership through an improper capital call. Ishbia denies all allegations, calling the suit a shakedown, and argues that the minority owners are resisting necessary investment to the team. This is the latest.
I was going to say, didn't we just talk about this the other day?
Yeah,
another one?
This is the latest in a series of lawsuits against the organization since Ishbia took over in 2023. How much control should a majority owner have over business decisions when minority owners argue those decisions are harmful to the long-term health of the franchise?
Well, I don't know. What was the other lawsuit? Like they fired one of the owner's wives that was doing something or something like that?
They fired an owner's wife for having an affair and then leaking information. There's another lawsuit with one of the top security people that used to work with the team. There's sexual harassment lawsuits going on.
What a circus.
It's a fun organization to be around in Phoenix.
And that's like the best run one in that town. The Diamondbacks look good right now. Cardinals are like the worst. I mean, and the Coyotes don't even exist anymore. They turned into Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, it's, rich people politics, rich people problems.
So you want to be a Phoenix Sun.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Have fun with that.
The New Orleans Saints are bringing back former Ravens kicker Justin Tucker and Cade York for tryouts after the current kicker Blake Group missed 2 field goals. Tucker recently reinstated from a 10-week suspension for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy, was released by Baltimore following sexual misconduct allegations that he denied. Coach Kellen Moore said the Saints will evaluate both Tucker's performance on and off the field as part of their due diligence. Should NFL teams consider signing players with unresolved or controversial off-field allegations if they believe those players can help the team, or should the off-field concerns outweigh the on-field talent?
Has that stopped anybody before?
No.
Hello. Has it stopped anybody before? No. Players that are good continue to get signed. They get second chances.
I like money.
Yeah, this is what teams do. Like, this is what organizations do. They can assume the risk if they want. If they want to go down that path, if they think the player is better than what their allegations are, they will do that. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. But yet Tyreek Hill is still employed.
Mm-hmm. But it is funny how there are some guys like Tyreek Hill, as you mentioned, Antonio Brown before he just up and left. But Ray Rice never got another shot. Like, it's funny how some guys...
Well, Ray Rice, at that point in time, was not the running back he used to be. It's plain and simple. The guy's either good enough to do it or he's not. That's what it is. If you're better than your baggage, they will sign you. If you're not, they will not. Is that what I would do if I was a general manager? Probably not.
No, I would not. I have.
But this
morals.
is the course. This is the decisions you have to make. Some organizations do value that, others do not. And if you decide not to, you have to risk that player playing on some other team and beating you, and just be like, we're okay with this.
And if you're the New Orleans Saints, by the way, you're what, 2-10
They're
going
awful.
into week
What's
13?
the point of signing Justin Tucker?
Why do you care if your field goal kicker missed 2 kicks in a game you lost by 14? Didn't make a difference.
That's all you need to know about the Saints, dude.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner said it's too early to set a payroll range for 2026, but indicates he prefer it to be lower than $319 million he spent in 2025. He emphasized the team still needs an outfielder and bullpen improvements, which could raise payroll. Steinbrenner noted that the team may not have been profitable despite Forbes' revenue reports, and expressed skepticism about direct correlation between spending and championships. The Yankees have historically exceeded the competitive balance tax threshold and could face additional costs depending upon off-season moves. To me, it's just funny to hear the New York Yankees crying poverty.
Costs a lot of money to run organizations. Revenue and profit are two totally different things.
I get it.
They probably make a ton of revenue. They probably have to spend a lot. I bet you they're all making money. But if the organization doesn't make a profit, then they're not making a profit.
It's the Yankees crying
They could
poverty.
break even. They could break even. You don't know. I don't know their books. Noon hour when we come back.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
New lunchtime hour on 97 through the Fan. Not Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Should have a jam-packed show again tomorrow, as we will be talking about a lot of different stuff under the sun in the sports world. A lot of stuff going on in the San Diego sports world as well. We talked about San Diego FC earlier on the show today. Big win last night, 1-0 to clinch a spot in the Western Conference Final in the MLS Cup. A win on Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium at 6 o'clock would clinch a spot in the MLS Cup Final against either Inter Miami or New York City FC. Those are the potential matchups for San Diego FC in the final. Now, they will be playing Vancouver on Saturday. If they're able to beat Vancouver, they'll be able to move on. We talked a lot about that in the first hour of the show. We're going to be talking about some high school football later. There's a big game tonight, the Open Division Championship game between Cathedral Catholic and Carlsbad at Southwestern College. We both will be at that game tonight in some capacity.
We will.
Game starts at 7 o'clock. It's at Southwestern College. It's $3 to park. You got to buy a parking pass on Southwestern College's parking permit website. Tickets are $18 for adults. They have deals for students and senior citizens. I posted the link on social media last night if you want to go to the game tonight.
I wonder if I could still use my student discount.
You probably could. Were you a student there?
I was.
Probably could
2.5
for parking,
years.
I guess. You have to make it count. So, I don't know. Meet and greet Frank at the Bell across the street. That'd be actually hilarious. You and Juan and Rod and Go Aztecs and Nate and whoever else in the YouTube chat all day. I mean, hey, we got a lot of South Bay people that listen to the show. Clay in the South Bay.
This is, by the way,
it's down the street, man.
This is not a company official meet and greet. So if I just happen to forget
that's
about
right.
going to the Taco
True.
Bell, you can't complain to the company because they're not putting this on.
This is one of those fourth inning meetups.
Yeah, this is one of those.
Park.
Oh yeah, hey, I'll be there.
That's right. Come on, get out and support some high school football. We're gonna talk about that later on in the show. We still got to talk about that Aztec game last night. I keep trying to punt it down. I kick the can down the road, to be honest with you, because it was not too great. So there's that. Enrique, come on, dude, go to the CIF championship game before you head down there. Juan was already talking about going to PB. Enrique, why don't you hit him up? Anyway. So the Aztec game was rough last night. We'll talk about that later on. But we do got to get to some Padres baseball. And we want to mention that this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Mission Fed. From first accounts to big life moments, Mission Fed can help. Savings shouldn't be stressful. Mission Fed makes it easier with great rates on savings certificates and ultra money market accounts. Grow your money the smart way. Check the latest rates and open an account at missionfed.com. Membership and account criteria apply. So we got some news yesterday from the Padres. Kevin Acee was the first that I saw putting this information out about the Padres reshaping their coaching staff under new manager Craig Stammen. And the theme is very clear: familiarity, trust, and personal connection over a lot of different traditional coaching resumes, which I'm okay with. When you hire a guy to be the manager, you want him to be able to build his staff the way he would like. And that sets him up for success. He's going to go out there and get, and I mentioned this before, get people that he believes in, that he trusts, that are in his corner, that are going to pull the rope in the right direction. He went out and did that yesterday by hiring a new bench coach and hiring a new hitting coach. Let's meet the two new hires of the San Diego Padres. Randy Knorr is the new bench coach of the San Diego Padres. Craig Stammen hired him to be his bench coach. Nor knows Stammen extremely well. He was the Nationals bullpen coach when Craig Stammen debuted with Washington. He has over a decade of MLB coaching experience, former Nationals bench coach for 4 seasons. He was a first base coach, minor league catching coordinator, and recently reassigned to a senior advisory role in Washington before he was let go at the end of the year last year. He brings legitimate MLB coaching heft and a catcher's background, complementing the obviously inexperienced Craig Stammen. So you have the catcher-pitcher scenario there with the bench coach for Craig Stammen. He's bringing in a guy that he knows and he trusts and he likes. That's what you need in a bench coach. They also are bringing in Steven Souza Jr., who is as the hitting coach. A little bit of a surprise hire for a lot of people out there. He's 36 years old. He's a new hitting coach. Hasn't been a major league hitting coach yet, but he replaces Victor Rodriguez, who is now with the Houston Astros. Souza has 0 pro coaching experience, but played 8 seasons in Major League Baseball. He was a former teammate of Craig Stammen with the Nationals, and he recently was a special advisor for hitting research and pro scouting with the Tampa Bay Rays. He is currently a co-owner of the Baseball Training Academy in the Seattle area, and he is seen as a modern, data-connected hitting voice with player relatability. And obviously, the only thing that's the risk is he doesn't have the experience as a Major League hitting coach. Padres under Craig Stammen are obviously leaning into this relationship hire, similar to MLB teams like the Rays and Guardians, who emphasize shared language within a staff. Stammen now has Nor as his bench coach. He's a veteran bench coach, catcher-minded philosophy and a stabilizer. He's got Steven Souza Jr., who is a young, modern, player-centric hitting voice. Ruben Niebla, who was retained as the pitching coach and is now the associate manager of the Padres. Ben Fritz is retained as the bullpen coach, and David Macias likely remaining at first base. The only major opening left is the third base coach, which the Padres are obviously putting together. Now, the thing with Steven Souza Jr., it scares a lot of people that he is a new coach. But there's a lot of stuff that we have seen of him breaking down swings that I find to be very interesting. Now, the first thing that we're going to play for you, Steven Souza Jr. on a podcast, he's talking about Brett Boone being a hitting coach as a former player. And the conversation of, do you have to be a good hitter in Major League Baseball to be a good hitting coach? Here's what Steven Souza Jr. had to say about it when they hired Brett Boone, who obviously had a phenomenal career in Major League Baseball before he became the Rangers hitting coach. Here's what Steven Souza Jr.
One second. I had it, and I went to put it in a different tab, and now it's gone. Like I had it. What in the world? That's rude. That was really rude.
It's a good time to mention, as Rod said, chat should be pulling up to Southwestern College for a CIF game tonight. Rod's going to be there. We'll see him at the game tonight. What is going on? What are we doing over here? We lose the internet again?
No, I went to I found the video. Okay, now I got it again. I got it back.
All right, let's recap again. So Steven Souza Jr. talking about what makes a good hitting coach at the Major League level.
There's instant credibility. Like, this guy's done it, been successful. I think you can go too far, say like, hey, if you played, you're automatically a good hitting coach. Like, that's not true. I've been around plenty of guys that have no idea what they did, and they explain it the way they did it, and that's all they know how. It's not just that you played in the big leagues. It's that some guys that played in the big leagues, they're very good at communicating how to have a good approach, how to have a good swing. They've kind of taken in the information from the guys that they played with in conversations and been able to try and fail a little bit. I thought JD was very smart. Like, I thought he knew the swing, and he actually knew how to like develop a game plan with some of the best guys in the league. It's just he didn't have the wherewithal sometimes to say it. And so having Edgar, as soon as he sits there and he says something, he's able to get respect right away.
So it's him talking about like former players being hitting coaches. And just because you're a good hitter doesn't mean you're a good hitting coach. And just because you play Major League Baseball doesn't make you a good hitting coach. But there's a lot of different things that are put together in that particular sense. I want to play this for a couple of minutes. It's not super long. We're going to try to cut it off about 2 minutes. But this is Steven Souza Jr. on social media breaking down Julio Rodriguez's swing and some of the adjustments, just to give you a little bit of a taste of, what he sees, what he brings to the table as a hitting coach.
Is it Julio Rodriguez's swing or is it Victor Robles' swing?
Oh, he says Julio Rodriguez in the video, but he says Victor Rodriguez in the
Victor
Robles on the tweet. So maybe it is Victor Robles. I thought he said Julio Rodriguez in the video, but here's him breaking down the some of the mechanics and just to kind of give a sense of what he could potentially bring as hitting coach. I watched this yesterday and got excited for what he could potentially bring as kind of that analytical guy and putting game plans together.
What's going on, y'all? Want to do a little breakdown here on the surgence of Victor Robles coming over from Washington over to Seattle. Maybe some of the differences we see. So let's get right into it. We'll see on the left here with Robles, he has this leg kick, and as he goes back, right, his hips get a little uphill. Right there, they get a little uphill. And what this is going to do, this is going to cause him to just be a tick late, right? So when he gets down, he's going to have to start his swing immediately. And we see that, right? The foot gets down, heel's down, and he's already coming up off the other heel, okay? And what that forces you to do is it makes you work around the ball, right? It works around, east to west. Right? So you have to rush, you have to spin. You can see this by watching his shoulder just rip around, just trying to play catch up. Right? And that's constantly the situation we saw in Washington. Whereas if we go over here on the right, he's got this nice, simple move now. JD's done a nice job, right? Simplifying this move. He doesn't really get up in the air too much, right? And this is a strong, athletic kid, right? And so now when his heel lands, he hasn't really started anything but his back elbow, which is great. We want to get that running start, but his heel's in the ground. Both heels are in the ground. We call this the horse position right here, right? And what this is going to allow him to do is, number one, be on time more consistently, right? His foot's on the ground. He's able to get into the ball a lot quicker and make his decision. But number two, watch his back shoulder come through and stay in line with the ball. Watch how direct this swing is, right? It's going to get in the ball and chase it out to the point where his shoulder finishes all the way through the ball. I mean, that's good stuff right there. This guy's on a tear right now, having this nice direct swing. He's got all the tools
So
in the world.
that's a little bit of Steven Souza Jr. breaking it down. The video I sent you, Frank, was actually a Julio Rodriguez one, so that's why that
bad.
was a little bit off. But it's okay. It's the same. It accomplishes the same thing. I think, when I first saw the news, it was like, okay, here's a guy that hasn't done it before. But I think he brings a new, young view of hitting, and I think it gets away from what the Padres ran into issues with last year of just kind of being way too old school, Frank.
Yeah, and I think Go Aztecs just said it in the chat there. Hopefully the Padres don't follow his career 229 batting average. Sometimes people are better teachers than doers. He
might not have the talent to be able to, even if he does everything correctly, he's just not as talented as a lot of other major leaguers that can, bring a good value there. So he has to be technically sound to be able to put together even that type of batting average, which that's why you see a lot of guys that haven't done very well in professional sports end up being really good coaches, as you were going to say.
And that was me when I was growing up, especially like when I got into high school, was I knew what I had to do. Like I was a catcher. I knew what I had to do, and I can relay what I had to do. It was, for me, it was the physical action of actually doing it was harder for me. So like I knew where I had to be. I knew how I had to catch the ball. I knew how I had to slide behind it. But sometimes it's comfort for me. Some of the things weren't as comfortable doing it as it had been the amount of time that I'd done it. Sometimes it's just, as you mentioned, it's just not the natural skill just isn't there. But that doesn't, just because he was a bad player doesn't mean that he's going to be a bad coach. Sometimes, like he said it in the first clip, it's not always necessarily knowing how to do something. It's knowing how to communicate it effectively. And I think that's what Souza was getting at. And from what it sounds like, and from what I've seen in the breakdown clips that he's posted, he's a very effective communicator as to what is wrong and how it can be fixed.
I think so too. I really I think there's some ways that he can bring some of these newer forms of baseball. And I think the fact that he worked with the Rays is very important. I mean, they are known for doing a lot of, getting the most out of not too much talent, right?
Yeah.
Or like not a lot of money. And so now you apply some of those things to what the Padres have talent wise. I think they could do a lot of stuff. And then the other thing I read up on Steven Souza Jr. was talking about like the correct pitches to swing at. That's a lot of the Padres' problems too, is swinging at pitches they can't do damage with. It's been frustrating to watch. So I'm interested to see what comes out of this. And maybe he's a good voice for a guy like Fernando and Manny and guys that already have a lot of talent, and they dig into a little bit more. And it seems the way he described it was very simple.
Yeah. And even that, like you were saying with the younger kids, because the Rays have a lot of guys who not only aren't great, but they're young. They build through their farm system, and their farm system comes up to play through their major league system. Let's just say you get into a situation where a couple outfielders get hurt and you have to bring up Tirso Ornelas this year. That is a guy who Steven Souza Jr. would know how to work with and know how to try to get the best out of him, because he's a younger guy. He's moldable, a guy that can listen. That is also the kind of guy that Steven Souza Jr. is going to help, not just the stars, but to be able to get like these tweener, these quadruple A players up and ready to go at the major league level. That is the kind of guy that Steven Souza Jr. has had the ability to work with and try to get the best out of over the last couple of years.
Yeah, the more I read up on Steven Souza Jr., the more I like a different approach. I think the young characteristic is going to be good. I think it brings life into a organization. And the other thing too is you let Craig Stammen hire his coaches and guys that he believes in and guys that he knows are going to have his back. And that's half the battle.
That's also crucial for a first-time coach too.
Mm-hmm.
You want the experience of knowing what you're doing, knowing what the job is around you, but you also want the guys you're going to be most comfortable with. And for Craig Stammen to be going after guys that he has been coached with, that he's been coaching with, or
has played with Souza. He played under Moore, who was his bullpen coach.
Yeah,
these are guys that he trusts.
Yeah,
and that's what you want around you when you build a staff. You need guys that are going to pull the rope in the right direction. You don't need somebody that was placed there that might want your job or is not there in support. I mean, you have to find people that are going to support what you want to do as the acting manager, as the acting head coach of the particular team. And when you don't have staffs like that, it usually leads to failure. So they're keeping some. It sounds like Brian Esposito is going to stay in the organization in some capacity, but they have a new bench coach now in Randy Knorr, and they have a new hitting coach in Steven Souza Jr. The last thing they need to go hire is a third base coach. So we'll see what they decide to do with that. When we come back, we're going to finally get to this Pirates and Marlins thing. Surprising spending push. We think it's genuine. Agents are saying it's not. We'll tell you about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, Sanger's #1 Sports Station 97 through the Fan. 12:23 on it really feels like a Thursday, but it's not. It's a Tuesday. That's what happens when you have a holiday on a Thursday. Thanksgiving Thursday, shortened week this week. Frank and I will only be on again tomorrow. Pack show tomorrow. We are the last live radio show of the week, as Gwen and Chris will be off tomorrow, but everybody's in action again today. Gwen and Chris will be coming up after us in the 2 o'clock hour. A lot to get to still on the show today. Do want to mention this holiday season, too many San Diegans will go hungry. Join 97 through the fan and support the San Diego Food Bank. Donate food directly online through our Odyssey San Diego Food Fund, where every donation helps feed local families. Go to 97throughthefansd.com/food fund and give today. All right, let's get to this conversation about the Pirates and the Marlins. It's a big article in The Athletic today about this, with a lot of contributing writers to it. And it highlights how the Pirates and Marlins want to all of a sudden spend some money. Two of Major League Baseball's lowest spending franchises, the Pirates and the Marlins, have suddenly become active players in free agency and trade discussions. Both clubs are exploring significant additions this winter, including Kyle Schwarber, Jorge Polanco, Ryan O'Hearn, Kazuma Okamoto, and pitchers such as Michael King. But while both teams insist their newfound aggression is about opportunity and trying to build winners, agents and rival executives believe there is a deeper motive tied to the looming CBA negotiations and revenue-sharing politics. What do the agents think about it? They think it's a possible CBA chess match. MLB's next collective bargaining agreement expires at the end of next season. There is expected to be a massive revenue-sharing fight between large and small market clubs. Big market teams argue that small market teams don't actually spend their revenue-sharing money on players. Agents like Seth Levinson, that was used in this article, believe smaller teams making surprise free agent pursuits like the Pirates and Marlins may be an attempt to look like they're spending ahead of these negotiations. The quote 150% rule the Marlins may be violating. CBA requires revenue sharing recipients to have a luxury tax payroll at least 150% of revenue sharing money received. Marlins received roughly $70 million plus in revenue sharing. Their payroll was estimated at only $85 million. That's nowhere near the 150% threshold. This could trigger a new grievance from the MLB Players Association, and spending this offseason could be a way to protect themselves legally. The Pirates are meeting the 150% requirement, but have still been criticized for bottom-tier payrolls for years. The Pirates argue, if not now, then when? They give the opportunity. They have Paul Skeens, the Cy Young winner and NL Rookie of the Year, under team control for 4 more seasons. They've publicly acknowledged past off seasons were too conservative. Ownership has internally floated a $100 million payroll target, still low but higher than usual. As for the Marlins, why are they suddenly aggressive? Well, they may have violated the 150% revenue sharing rule. The MLB Players Association has previously filed multiple grievances against the Marlins, and avoiding another one may require aggressively adding payroll. So what do we think these teams are doing this for? Do we think the Pirates and the Marlins really want to compete, Frank, or do we think they all of a sudden are trying to get in line with what could potentially be coming down the pipeline?
No, it's all out of the kindness of their heart. They've recognized the errors of their ways and are repenting. No, of course they're trying to get compliant with what's coming up. It's the same thing we discussed with the LSU and Brian Kelly thing. It's of course the nefarious way behind it. That's all there is to it.
I think the timing is very interesting for both of these both of these teams. Now, you look at the reasoning behind it from a other perspective, and that also makes sense too. But I think with the potential contract or labor negotiations looming, I think a lot of these teams want to get in compliance with what could be coming. I think a lot of teams want to get in compliance with, showing that, proving the MLB Players Association that they actually do spend their money, even though the Players Association is probably right in this deal. But if you look at potential targets, and again, I think a lot of these organizations, Frank, also say, they are in on players, and then they just come up short and say like, "Hey, look, we tried," but in reality, they were never in on said players. That's been rumors for years for certain organizations that want to get their name out there to show their fans that they're spending money or they're trying to spend money and they're not actually making any type of deals. I think that's also at play.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, you can say that about anything. Why weren't the Pirates in on Ohtani in that case?
I think they do it. I think they do it on realistic landing spots.
I mean,
I think they do it on realistic conversations of players where it's like, oh, people can believe that the Pirates could be in on Josh Naylor. But if the Pirates said they're in on Ohtani, I don't think a lot of people.
Can you really believe that, though?
I think from affordability standpoint, I think you could.
It's just, I don't, you can't believe anything that these teams do right now, especially teams like the Pirates who have fought for years with their fan base about spending money, that the Marlins who have their entire existence has been building through the minor leagues and then shipping guys off. Like, they've never once been a big spender team or tried to be a big spender team. You can throw the Rockies in that. The Royals the Royals have a once in a generation run.
I understand that, but my thing is a lot of teams say that they're in on certain players that are relatively a guy that would not be too eye-popping on a contract,
right?
Just to say that they're in, like Josh Naylor is not a massive contract,
right? And my point is, why would you believe it? Why would you?
Because fans have hope that their team is finally going to do something. Because fans have hope. That's why. I mean, you and I know that the Pirates aren't going to spend any money, but the Pirates fans can be like, hey, look, maybe they're changing some things. There's some, fans of their will make excuses for their teams all the time because they put on the rose-colored glasses. I used to see it all the time with the Chargers. And now that you're not attached to the team anymore, you just go like, oh, this team's never going to win. They'll tell Charger fans that right now. I mean, every year they think they have a chance, but the reality is with their ownership and everything put in place, they're never going to win. Same thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're never going to win. But Bengals fans are out there holding out hope all the time for XYZ to happen. Like Pirates fans can I think the Pirates can convince their fans that they might be like interested in certain players. And they could give this. We have Paul Skeens. He's a Cy Young Award winner. New York, a National League Rookie of the Year. He's under team control. We think we could get our payroll up to $100 million. And you hear that, and you're like, okay, yeah, okay. And, they did give Brian Haynes a contract extension. And they did give Brian Reynolds a contract extension. They have spent some money.
And where is Brian Hayes right now?
They traded him. But
exactly.
You know what? But
Thank you.
They still have shown that they can do just enough to make their fans believe and hope that this might be a turnaround and they might be able to put money down.
Their biggest signing this year has been, over the last couple of years, has been reuniting with Andrew McCutchen.
I understand that. I'm telling you, there are some Pirates fans that probably believe that they can be in on this. Now, until they start saying it, until they start signing these guys, it's not going to make any sense. They have the Pirates targets at Kyle Schwarber. They're never going to sign Kyle Schwarber. No. There's no way. I'm sure they'll sit there and do what the White Sox did with Manny Machado. They'll say that they offered him a gigantic contract and that he just turned it down to go somewhere else. Be off the hook. More realistic. Jorge Polanco, Ryan O'Hearn, Kazuma Okamoto. I could see them. I could see them signing a Jorge Polanco and making it sound like it's a big splash.
Yes, that I can see.
I can see the same thing with Ryan O'Hearn. Because they're affordable in the grand scheme of things. They could potentially try a trade. Cardinals bats, Donovan, Newpar, and Gorman. I just don't see the Cardinals doing that with the sense of those guys are under team control for a long time. But those are trade pickups that the Pirates would be able to afford. What was noted in this article was they never even got a chance to bid seriously on Josh Naylor before he signed with Seattle.
Because Naylor wanted to go back to Seattle.
Naylor had no interest in going at a place that was never going to spend money around him.
Naylor had no interest in going anywhere other than back to Seattle.
They also have internal pressure. They're going to have to start doing something. Here's the other thing, too. When the thing that works out for... This is why the Rockies don't have any pressure, because people go to their games. People go to their games, they got a nice stadium, and if people are still paying money to go watch the team play as bad as they are, why change anything if you're Dick Monfort? Now, if you're the Pirates fans flat out dislike Bob Nutting. A plane flew over the stadium saying sell the team on opening day. Attendance 26 last season. It's hurting their bottom line. With that pressure, they're going to have to spend money. They're going to have to spend money. So they have the storylines around where they can throw out there that they're going to try to spend money. The Marlins, their goals are to add a closer. They've also talked to Michael King about potentially being a starting pitcher there. They've also have interest in Devin Williams and Ryan Helsley. They want to add a power bat at first base and third base after finishing 27th in home runs. They still want to potentially trade Sandy Alcantara, but they also could build around him. He's under control until 2027. They believe they're close. They had a turnaround, 100 losses to 79 wins last year. Young core, Kyle Stowers, the Christian high school product, 25 home runs and an all-star appearance. They got Jacob Marcy, who led all rookies in hits, extra base hits, and stolen bases after August 1st. The player they got, one of the deals that the Padres traded with him. And they also got this kid named Agustin Ramirez, who had 20 home runs and 10 stolen bases, rookie catcher. Massive investment in infrastructure, new giant weight room, Dominican Republic complex upgrades, expanded front office. My whole thing on this entire conversation, though, with the Pirates and the Marlins is on par with you, Frank. Until they start doing it, it just falls on deaf ears for me.
Exactly.
And if they do start doing it, I'll have my questions about whether or not it's just for the new CBA.
Exactly. It's all for nefarious purposes because of the timing of it, and what these franchises have been historically. It's not. This is not a genuine change in philosophy out of these owners.
Yeah. I look at it and it's just, until they start doing it, I'm just not going to believe it. And then even then, as mentioned before, I think it's for a reason. But you know what? If it's forced, this is being forced, right? So now this is like almost a designed, built in for why you would want a salary cap and a salary floor if you're a baseball fan, because
Absolutely.
teams are going to abide by it. And this is them signing some of the big names is actually good news for Major League Baseball, because those big names don't get stacked on loaded teams. And that's what a lot of people want to see in Major League Baseball. We got to take a quick break. We got a high school football recap we want to get to. We also want to get to our midday sports standoff. If we have time in the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about last night's Aztecs basketball game. Still lots to get to on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. Looking for a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. If you can take me down in sports trivia, you'd be able to enter a chance to win tickets to Sammy Hagar as he returns to Las Vegas with his best of all world's Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy's solo hits, and more, only in Las Vegas this March 11th to the 21st. And September 18th to the 26th, they'll be live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We get some high school football stuff from this weekend. All the semifinal games happened last week, and we got a championship day tonight, 7 o'clock at Southwestern College. The Carlsbad Lancers taking on the Cathedral Catholic Dons. Should be a great game tonight at Southwestern College for the Open Division Championship. Winner will move on to the Southern California Regional, and most likely will play the winner of San Clemente and Los Alamitos in the Southern Section Division II final, which will happen on Friday. We got a lot of other games happening this weekend at Southwestern College. Again, tonight's $3 to park at Southwestern College. I posted a place to buy tickets if you do want to come out and watch the Dons and the Lancers. A lot of great players tonight for both teams. Should be a fun game between Cathedral and Carlsbad. A lot of great Division I talent going to be on display tonight, and it's going to be fun to see it. And we got great games coming up this weekend, as we had a big weekend last weekend. It was a championship ticket weekend across San Diego, and we got more fireworks than a 4th of July show last weekend. Let's run through everything that went down around the section. Division I championship is set. Granite Hills and Lincoln are headed to Southwestern College. That's a rematch from the Open Division final from a couple of years ago. Granite Hills 9-3 on the season, leaned on the run for the first time all year in a 52-30 semifinal win over Mount Miguel. Eagles offensive line did a phenomenal job opening up holes for their running back. They ran it 34 times for 231 yards. Anthony Mater popped for 77 yards. Seth Rodriguez had added 75. Gage Spalding scored twice. Quarterback Zach Benitez, who came in with 3,377 yards and 44 touchdowns on the season, gave them 28 more on the ground while throwing for a seasonal 138. Defensively, Braden Wells had a pick 6, and Willie Spain, Wyatt McClelland, and Parker Johnson all had sacks as Granite Hills stuffed Mount Miguel 4 times on 4th down. They'll take on the number 1 seeded Lincoln Hornets in Division I, who beat San Marcos 49-35 behind another monster night from Junior Curtis. 320 yards and 4 touchdowns, his second straight 300-yard game. Rashad Robinson added 85 yards and 2 scores. Hornets only completed 1 pass all night, but ran for 461 against the Knights. The defense forced 4 second-half turnovers. Javion Allen had a pick and a fumble recovery. Alvin Gaston had a scoop and score for San Marcos. Crete McKinley threw touchdowns to Zeke McIntyre and Cutter Voorhees, plus ran in one. Karen Monaghan took a kickoff back 75 yards. For San Marcos, who finished very impressive 7-5 season after playing the best competition in San Diego all year long. Division I championship will be Saturday at 7:30 between Granite Hills and Mount Miguel. Division II, it was Santa Fe Christian who stayed unbeaten with a 35-20 win over Scripps Ranch. With the run game shut down, Dax Laburn went to the air, 226 yards and 3 touchdowns. Chase Woolley had 110 receiving and 110 in returns. Brady Berg did everything: a touchdown catch, a touchdown run, an interception, and 10 tackles. Balin Breeze, the son of Drew Brees, added a 21-yard touchdown reception, while Brody Caffrey took a pick back 95 yards. Santa Fe Christian, who is their offensive coordinator, is Drew Brees. They'll be playing in the Division II CIF championship game against Steel Canyon, who beat San Diego High 21-7 behind quarterback Gavin Kaha and his 2 touchdown passes to Jacob Henton, who, by the way, didn't play football for 3 years. This is the first year playing football. Abel Lopez added a 2-yard score. Steel Canyon over San Diego 21-7. You'll have the Steel Canyon Cougars and the Santa Fe Christian Eagles going after it in the battle of the number 1 and 2 seeds in Division 2, just like the number 1 and 2 seeds are going at it in Division 1. In Division 3, Central Union outlasted University City 44-42 thanks to a massive night from Matthew Lizola. 263 yards and 5 touchdowns out of the Wildcat look. Junior Camarena chipped in 87 yards and a score. UC got big plays from Quentin Demara, Deshaun Hill, and DJ Ferguson, who took a kickoff back 90 yards, but the game ended with CJ Acosta breaking up a pass in the end zone after earlier muffing a kickoff. Central got the dub by 2 points, and they move on to the Division 3 championship. Will take on Christian, the 6th seed in Division 3. They upset the 2 seed Army Navy 20-17 behind quarterback Caleb Runkle, who threw a two second half touchdowns and rushed for 51. Julian Moronis rushed for 81 yards. Soren Lucy had a pick and a touchdown catch. Christian knocked off the 3 seed Ramona in overtime. They knocked off the 2 seed in a thriller and Army Navy, and now they will try to knock off the 1 seed in Division 3 in Central in the CIF championship game. In Division 4, Eastlake beat Westview. That's the second Rancho Penasquitos team they beat in 2 weeks. They beat Westview 21-17 thanks to a gutsy fake punt late against the Wolverines. That set up a 24-yard touchdown run by quarterback Tyler Balco, who ran for 85 and threw for 79. David Bronco added 76 yards and a score, and Maximo Acosta sealed it with an interception. Westview quarterback Matthew Guimon threw for 228 yards and touchdowns to Miles Miranda and Joshua Haney, but the Wolverines couldn't get the run established. They end up losing to Eastlake, who moves on to face Valley Center, who beat La Jolla Country Day 42-35 behind a massive night from Josiah Ryan Torado, 297 yards and 4 touchdowns on 36 carries. Braylon Mitchell tossed 2 touchdowns to Gage Wright, and Valley Center wins 42-35 over La Jolla Country Day. They will take on Eastlake in the Division 4 final. In Division 5, Hoover beat Canyon Hills 10-6 after Fyram Ivory returned an onside kick 46 yards for the go-ahead score. Tanai Tuipulutu sealed it with an interception in the end zone. Hezekiah Manuel threw for 171 and ran for 73. Canyon Hills points came on a 92-yard pick 6 from Daniel Westhaffer, but it was Hoover knocking off the Rattlers of Canyon Hills. They will play Morse, who dominated Monte Vista 52-12 behind Superior Gar. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 rushing scores from Alex Smith as well for the Morse Tigers. So the Division 5 final is set. It's going to be Hoover and Morse. That's a look at what's going on in the high school football realm. As mentioned before, again tonight should be a fun matchup between Cathedral Catholic and for Carlsbad. Carlsbad, a team that likes to run the football a lot, likes to hang on to the rock, as mentioned by an article in the San Diego Union Tribune on Eli McNeil, who is the son of Thad McNeil. And here's my favorite part about these two programs playing each other. They are coached by 2 alumni. Thad McNeil starred at Carlsbad as a quarterback back in the day, and he has done a great job in running this Carlsbad football program to be one of the best teams in San Diego year in and year out. And now he has the ability to lead his alma mater to a potential open division championship with his son at quarterback. I mean, what a special moment that is for the Carlsbad side, and a story to watch for the Carlsbad Lancers. I mean, Eli McNeil is a kid that grew up on the sidelines at Carlsbad High School now, and it got to see a lot of the great quarterbacks at Carlsbad play, and now gets to play for one of those great quarterbacks in Christian Chapman, who's the offensive coordinator at Carlsbad, and the long legacy of quarterbacks at Carlsbad High School. So what a moment for him, and what a moment for the McNeil family tonight at Southwestern College. I mean, Eli McNeil and Thad McNeil get to do something that Coach Sean Doyle on the other side got to do with his son in 2016 and 2015 when Nick Doyle played for his dad at Cathedral. Same thing, same kind of story. Sean Doyle is an alumni of the University of San Diego High School. He is a Dons alum. He has led the program for so many years. He has accomplished a lot of great things. Most of his staff are alumni, just like Thad McNeil's got a lot of Carlsbad Lancers alumni on their staff. And Sean got to experience coaching his own son, where Nick grew up on the sidelines of all the Dons games and has got to play for the Dons one day. So a couple of good storylines back and forth between Carlsbad and Cathedral Catholic. Again, there's a lot of great players on both teams. I mean, you got running back and Darian Webb for Carlsbad and Kai Brown, two players that have had phenomenal years for the Lancers. They got good receivers in Travis Jeffrey and Ethan Meyerhoff. Their tight ends are great. Rocky Cummings, a 6'4", 225-pound senior tight end for the Carlsbad Lancer. Guy's an animal. He has 11 receptions for 187 yards, but 8 of those receptions are touchdowns. He's averaging 17 yards per catch. He's also a phenomenal blocker. So it's a fun group for Carlsbad. As for Cathedral, arguably one of the best players I have seen and have been able to coach in Honor Falave Johnson. I mean, the kid makes a lot of great plays, and it's not just him on offense. I mean, you got a receiver in Isaac Cook that's going to be a great Division I college player. You got a quarterback in Brady Palmer who's going to be a great Division I college quarterback who is, I know, making a visit this weekend to a Big Ten school. So there's a lot of great talent on the field for both teams. Should be a fun one tonight at Southwestern College. And I expect hopefully a lot of you guys go out there and come watch, because these are some talented players going out there representing the city of San Diego and will represent the city of San Diego, whoever wins. And I think whoever wins this game has a really good chance at winning state based on what the path might be. And I think San Diego's got a lot of good teams that could represent in state. I mean, you look at the Division I matchup between Lincoln and Granite Hills, that'll be Saturday at 7:30. Both of those teams have the ability to win state this season. And a lot of good football in San Diego this year. Should be a fun time. I know Frank's excited for it. We get to see Frank out there for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very interested in going. I'm actually buying the parking pass as we speak.
Yes. Parking is $3 today. It's $20 over the weekend. Since there is class tonight at Southwestern College, CIF is suggesting you get down there as early as possible. So hopefully hopefully you get down there early. Again, parking, it's better to buy it online before. You have to create an account with Southwestern College in order to get the parking. Frank is going through that right now. So it's a little bit of a couple of process steps.
The permit you're looking for after you fill out the account, after you create the account, the permit you're going to be looking for is daily permits by calendar day. You click on which day tonight, and then you can add it to the cart.
All Carlsbad parents, all Cathedral parents, everybody that's potentially going down to the game tonight, if you haven't done so already, get the parking and sign up now so you don't have to sit in your car trying to do it and trying to go down there and park on a school night. Southwestern College does have school today, so that's the warning on that. When we come back, Aztec basketball, we'll talk about it in the 1 o'clock hour. All guests on 97 through the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. It's that time again, Frank.
I agree.
It's that time again. It's time for what?
You figured I'd learn by now. Have a hint?
It's the same thing every day at 1 o'clock for our show. I'll give you a hint.
That's what I asked for.
Rod.
Come
on, Frank.
Stick.
It's time for the biggest fan, Frank. Missed it again.
That's the thing.
We're going to get better at this.
We are. We'll figure it out.
Today's biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Melanie Arnold in El Cajon. Melanie Arnold in El Cajon. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Melanie Arnold in El Cajon, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. You got 10 minutes. Melanie, give us a call. You will qualify. Sounds good. Odyssey spelled with an A, San Diego. In the chat. All right. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. While you're waiting a phone call, we do have a phone call. We're going to talk about Aztecs basketball in a second. Did you see Go Aztecs in the Twitch chat?
What? No, I did not.
He said, Padres, please have breaking news so we don't talk about the Aztecs basketball game last
for
night.
goodness sake. I'm not seeing anything.
Well, neither am I. We're going to talk about the Aztecs basketball team. That was not fun last night, let me tell you. All right, let's get to David in San Diego. David, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Not much, Braden. I just want to wish you and your Dons good luck today. And want to let you know you guys will have one of the best drivers for your team. I will be driving you guys down to Southwestern College tonight, one of your bus drivers. And I do have a perfect record.
All right.
So I plan on keeping that up tonight. And like I said, I just want to wish you guys good luck and hopefully be able to meet you and Frankie down there and watch some good high school football tonight as you guys kick some butt tonight.
Well, I appreciate that, David. Thanks again. We'll see you in a couple hours. How about
ready,
that?
You were ready to lay into David over because you thought he was going to talk about
Don's
recruiting players.
Here we go. Here we go. We got, look who just called in.
I see that.
It's Mr. Carlsbad himself. Brandon in Carlsbad wants to weigh in. Brandon, what's going on?
Hey, boys! Good to hear everybody. You know, it's been a minute. Been doing some traveling, riding some dirt bikes, surf, skate, snowboard. You know, that's real Southern California style right there. But we do love sports as well. So let's talk about it. You know, Carlsbad High, class of 96, state champ surf team. Can't say too much about the football team. But everybody has some time. And you know what? Even a blind chicken gets a kernel every once in a while. So let's go Lancers, baby! But you know what? Hey, respect for Cathedral. Look, dude, people can bump their gums all day. And you and I both know this, Braden, because I coach kids too. And at a private facility, they all recruit at all different levels, but they all do. There's a level of recruitment for all the bigger schools in this county where, dude, yeah, they want the studs. I mean, it is what it is. You guys can all hem and haw. And, hey, I don't know if you guys saw my comment on YouTube. I said the rich kids versus the richer kids. And you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, I think it's a great matchup. You know, yeah, I'm pulling for my alumni as I should, but looking forward to it. And it's good to – hey, Frank, how we been, man? You miss me?
Of course I missed you, Brandon. Come on.
Right on, you guys. Well, hey, enjoy the rest of the day. We got some great ball tonight. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. Also, let's go SDFC. Come on, where you at, San Diego fans? Are you just kind of San Diego fans or everything San Diego fans? Let's roll. Love you guys. God bless. Let's go, Lancers. Talk soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brandon. There you go. We got a Don's phone call and we got a Lancers phone call today. It's great.
It's called equal time.
Shout out to David in San Diego, our bus driver tonight. That's awesome. Looking forward to that. So we'll see. He's got a good record going. Hopefully we keep it up for David there. That's added pressure right now. But I will say this, both teams very good. Both teams going to represent San Diego very well in the state playoffs. And I think both teams have a good chance against San Clemente and Los Alamitos, you know, in the regional finals. And there's a good chance that San Diego's coming home with multiple state championships this year, which is great to see. I mean, the open division in state's going to be whoever wins Division I in the southern section, which I think is Santa Margarita, and I forget who Santa Margarita is playing. But that playoff is hell on earth, how difficult that is to make it through that playoff. They'll play probably De La Salle in the CIF in the state championship game, and then in the Division I AA, my guess is going to be Los Alamitos / San Clemente versus Carlsbad / Cathedral Catholic, and a winner will probably take on Folsom in the Division I AA championship. And then my guess would be Lincoln or Granite Hills will represent San Diego in the Division 1A SoCal championship game, and they'll probably have to play another southern section team as well. But I like the chances for the San Diego teams moving forward. We'll talk more about that probably next week when we get all the matchups in place. But tonight is the Open Division Championship game. Let's get out to Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, what's going on? Welcome to the Braden Surprenant Show.
Well, following up from Brandon, I mean, you know, happy Thanksgiving, Brandon. I truly love when you call in because it's refreshing, it's spiritual, and you just keep on keeping on, brother. And just want to say happy Thanksgiving also to you and Frank, and good luck on football as well. You guys are great. It's been a fun year. We're very thankful to have both of you in the chair. I know it's tough at times, but just all the best to both of you. And I'm going to suspend my San Diego State Aztec basketball talk after that, whatever that was last night. We're just going to leave it alone and pretend it never happened.
That's probably a good call. And Kevin, a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. We really appreciate you joining us all the time. And you know what? I mean, you look at, or kind of segue. The thing is with Aztec basketball, They got to flip it fast because they got Oregon tonight. So we're going to talk about this Michigan game, and that's a good segue into our conversation about the game last night. Aztecs suffered one of the worst defeats in program history last night. They got ran out of the building, out of the Michelob Ultra Arena by number 7 Michigan in a 94-54 demolition at the Players Era Festival in Las Vegas. The game was competitive for only 4 minutes. San Diego State led 5-0. Then Michigan went on a 17-2 run and never looked back. The Wolverines, armed with one of the top NIL-funded rosters in the country, overwhelmed San Diego State with size, pace, physicality, depth, and shot making. The 40-point loss is San Diego State's worst loss since 1999 when they lost 86-38 against Utah, a game that helped spark the hiring of Steve Fisher. San Diego State is now 2-4 in its last 6 games, going back to last season, the Mountain West Tournament, and the NCAA First Four blowout against North Carolina. A team advertised as one of the best in school history suddenly looks confused, overmatched, and lacking identity. Brian Dutcher is the biggest class act coach I've ever met, I've ever seen. Because what does Brian Dutcher do last night? He takes all responsibility for the game. He is the classiest guy ever. He said last night, when you're bad from the top. And you're bad from the top down. And I'm the top. He said San Diego State must forget the game immediately or risk losing again Tuesday against Oregon, which I agree with. And he's called on his players to drown the noise and rebuild their swagger. That's exactly what San Diego State has to do. But if you look at the numbers, you take a deeper dive in the numbers. Aztecs shooting percentage, 27% from the field. Michigan shot 50%. You're not going to win a lot of games doing that. Not going to win any games doing that. Points in the paint, Michigan 38 to San Diego State's 12. Rebounds, Michigan out-rebounded San Diego State 49-34. Second chance points, Michigan 22-3 in second half. Or sorry, I say second chance points. 6 Wolverines scored 10-13 points last night. San Diego State's offense was disastrous. Starters had just 21 total points. Starting lineup shot 17% combined from the field. And Magoon Guathu finally got to start again for the first time. 7 points, 5 turnovers, no blocks. He's still coming back from the knee, so you got to give him a little bit of time. Your top scorers, Reese Dixon Waters and Miles Bird, combined 5 points each on 3 for 15 shooting. Your only bright spots last night for the Aztecs, 2 bench players kept San Diego State somewhat afloat. The freshman LZ Harrington continues to show why he's such a highly touted recruit. He had 15 points off the bench. He was 6 for 9 from the field. BJ Davis, a junior, had 11 points from the bench as well. But this is a problem for the tournament. This is a problem for the NCAA tournament. And obviously now for this tournament, you're not going to be in a championship conversation because you lost the first game. But this tournament uses point differential as a tiebreaker for determining the third game matchup. A blowout this large puts San Diego State in danger of finishing the bottom 4, staying in Vegas through Thursday, and as Mark Ziegler put out, eating Thanksgiving dinner in a windowless hotel conference room. A loss to Oregon, even by 1 point, likely condemns them to that fate, which is not fun. Here's the bigger picture. Michigan head coach Dusty May said he expected more resistance from San Diego State, praising their program's elite consistency. Aztecs look nothing like the team that reached the 2023 national championship game. Team looks just jointed, struggling offensively, lacking defensive edge, and searching for chemistry. They got to be able to beat Oregon tonight to try to get out of this. I mean, there were some people in the chat after they lost to Troy that said I was overreacting to the way they played, but they didn't play with their usual defensive self. Their offense continues to be rough, and they're going to have to find a way to try to climb out of this hole because these are the games that you're supposed to build your resume on to make the NCAA tournament so you don't have to win the conference tournament at the end of the season. And right now, you're looking at a situation where you're going to have to win the conference tournament at the end of the season, unless they can beat Oregon, get paired with another good team, and win that game in this Players Era Festival. And then they're going to have to go out there and beat Arizona, who has a way better resume than Michigan does. I know Michigan spent a lot of money on their roster, $12 million compared to probably the $2.5 million that San Diego State has, which is a gigantic difference in rosters. And I'd give them the benefit of the doubt in that particular sense, but losing to Troy makes it worse. I mean, this is a Michigan team that hasn't been blowing teams out. They beat Wake Forest by a point. They beat TCU by 4 points. TCU's coming out here to take on Florida. You better hope that, TCU might be better than what we initially expected. I mean, as a TCU fan, I thought they're 3-2 right now with losses in New Orleans and Michigan. That Michigan loss looks great right now after seeing what they did to San Diego State. But they got to fix a lot of problems. I mean, I'm surprised. Their Ken Pom dropped from 29 to 57 last night. This is the second time in the last 6 games that they have trailed by 40-plus points against major programs. North Carolina in the NCAA tournament last year and Michigan this year. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve. They have the talent to be a lot better than what showed last night. And that's what's baffling about this game. That's all the bad news. The good news is for the Aztecs, they can flip it quick by getting a win over Oregon. And you need that baseball mentality of so what, because there's nothing you can do about that game last night now anymore. But the Aztecs that's a must-win game tonight, Frank, if they want to make the NCAA tournament. As crazy as that sounds, this early in the season, that's what it's looking like right now.
Yeah, no, and that's also part of the problem with these big tournaments and these massive amount of teams is that you're playing teams that most likely are going to be in the NCAA tournament or are fighting for a spot to be in the NCAA tournament, and you're diluting the tournament by knocking some of the teams out this early in the season, which is effectively what it's looking like is going to happen with San Diego State. I mean, you have to take care of business tonight against Oregon. You have to show, if nothing else, you have to show you can at least be competitive. So this way you're on the fringe of possibly getting a lower seed in the tournament at this point of the season. It's you really have to turn it around in a big way. They were humbled badly last night. And I think a lot of us were as well, because behind the scenes, I mean, we're sitting here talking and looking at the preseason rankings, saying, how the heck is San Diego State not ranked? How are they not getting in the top 25? It's criminal that they're not ranked. Well, maybe they got it right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There's nothing you can say about it now. Aztecs have to try to beat Oregon tonight. And based on what you saw last night, Jake Waters in the chat said they might lose by 20 to Oregon. I mean, if they get blown out by Oregon tonight, they have a massive problem on their hands, and they are going to have to win the Mountain West tournament because the Mountain West is not going to be able to get more than one bid because of what they have done so far in the non-conference. It's been awful.
Yeah, if you don't win tonight, it's kiss it goodbye. There is one route in, and the Mountain West Championship is it.
Unless they beat Arizona, who looks a lot better than Michigan does. And it's just kind of disappointing because you're getting a lot of the players that you got back from last year that were good. You got to keep them from leaving in the portal. You added LZ Harrington and a good recruiting class, and you think they would be a lot better than they are right now. That was a tough game to watch last night for the Aztecs. And I saw it before the game. I mean, the Aztec fans were outnumbering Michigan like 3-1. I mean, that's if they stayed the whole time. I mean, that was just an beating. And it didn't even look like they belonged in the same class as Michigan.
Yeah.
But just the offense has been awful. They don't have the biggest problem for the Aztecs right now. They don't really have a point guard, and they don't have big men that can get rebounds compared to Power 4 teams. Like, they don't have the physicality or the strength inside. And that's been the Aztecs' problem a lot. And the times that they have been able to go on runs, they've had guys that are bigger in the paint that can handle that problem. But right now, they don't have that. And Arizona, coming up on December 20th, might be the number 1 team in the country by the time the Aztecs play them in Phoenix. Because they've looked really good. So, tough game last night for San Diego State. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. We do want to dive into some other things. We have a couple of segments left, but when we go to break, as we go to break, we do want to put up for grabs those tickets to see Guns N' Roses. If you call in, fifth caller to call in, will win a pair of tickets to Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd, 2026. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. That is our ticket giveaway. Fifth caller, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Fifth caller as we go to break to call in. You will win a pair of tickets to see Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd, 2026. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. This hour 97 through the fans brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's number one Toyota dealer by USA Today. It's the season to save at Toyota of Poway. The Black Friday sales event is on with brand new Toyotas in stock and ready to roll. Hurry to Toyota of Poway or ToyotaofPoway.com and drive home happy this holiday. Let's get to, we have a little bit of time, and I want to mention something that we should have mentioned a couple of weeks ago, but I thought Don Norcross did a great job this morning in writing an article about Marshall Letourneau. Marshall Letourneau is Mr. Don. He was the wonderful man that I've been fortunate enough to meet, who had done so many different things for Cathedral Catholic and the University of San Diego High School, a beloved figure of the school community, a 1963 alumni, former lineman and long snapper, booster club leader, Hall of Fame member, known simply to a lot of people as Mr. Don. He was at every single event, games, plays, events for his grandchildren that attended Cathedral Catholic, staple at the school snack bar for decades. He was also tireless handyman and plumber, still working job sites and fixing things for family right up until the day he passed away. We lost Marshall 2 weeks ago, 3 minutes before we kicked off against Mission Hills. You know, what was a very emotional start to a football game that I've ever had. One that was awful for a lot of us, and obviously even more for his family and his son-in-law and his daughter, the Montali family, who I've been fortunate enough to play for at Cathedral, but then also coach with. And it was rough a couple of Fridays ago. I mean, we had to go into the game without our defensive coordinator, who had just, at the game, lost his father-in-law. And so it's been a lot of emotion this week. And again, if you haven't read the article yet in the Union Tribune, I highly recommend reading it. Because Don Norcross did a really good job honoring a man that is a great community leader in San Diego. And although it's mostly involved in the community that I'm a part of, in the Uni and Cathedral Catholic community, he was a devout listener to our show. I mean, remember the conversation I had, Frank, about the Don shoes I got?
Yes.
And we were talking about, I don't know if I'm going to get him in time.
Yep.
So that night at Helix, I had a lot of people ask me about it, but Marshall came up to me after the game and said, "Did you get your shoes? Did your shoes come in?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm wearing them right now." He's like, "Oh, let me take a look at those things. Those are sharp. I love those. Those are some hella shoes right there." He was a great man. It was, I got to know him over the years. Obviously, he was at every event. He was the guy that he was the popcorn guy at the home games. He worked all the basketball games, football games. He was at every golf tournament. I mean, everything that he could do for his school that he sent his daughter to, that his grandkids went to. And it was a tough day to have to deal with that. And it goes into what that experience was like for our defensive coordinator, John Montali, on that day. And obviously his wife, who is the daughter of Marshall Letourneau, and just a great man that should be honored. And he's going to be the family's going to be having a public service for him at Cathedral on Saturday at 5:30 to all the alumni that might know Marshall Letourneau or anybody else that knows the Letourneau family. That will be the big one for that on Saturday at 5:30 at Cathedral Catholic High School for the celebration of life. But again, it's going to be a heavy heart tonight for Coach Montali. But I sent you that article, Frank. I mean, it was a really good job by Don Norcross.
Yeah, no, that was an absolutely beautiful article, a beautiful tribute to him, and to have I mean, it was an unbelievable article. Teared up reading it, and I could tell. I mean, I could tell from you a couple of weeks ago telling me off air, but you can really tell and feel through the article that is a huge loss for the Cathedral Catholic Don family.
Yeah, and then it's just I've never experienced anything like that before. It was not.
It's been
fun.
It's been a trying year for you guys.
Yeah,
we've had a
lot of stuff.
A couple of interesting losses. You had that basically the same injury that Cam Scatabo had up at your second trip up north, and now this. I mean, this is it's been a hell of a year for you guys.
I've had tears roll down my face twice now at games for certain situations. I mean, we had a player get the Tyreek Hill injury before Tyreek Hill got the injury. We had a player get the Scatabo injury before Scatabo got the injury. And we've had just a lot of stuff. I mean, it's been a long season, but I wanted to mention just a great man, a loyal listener to our show. He would listen every single day, and every Friday night I'd get the update on the week from Marshall about everything that we would listen to. And it was fun to talk to him about a lot of different things, talk about the Padres and all these other stuff. So, it's tough not to see him there. So I have, I wear for everybody that doesn't know, I wear the white belt for Mario Fierro, who was one of my coaches that was murdered. And he used to wear the white belt all the time, and I still wear it. And my mom goes, "When are you going to get rid of that ridiculous white belt?" And I said, "When I stop coaching, is when I will not wear it." So I will always wear that for Mario. And now the shoes, I will think of Marshall. Even though, I didn't get the shoes for him, he didn't wear these shoes. It's just that conversation about my shoes. And so anybody that's going to the game tonight, in our group that notices me on the sideline, I'll have the white belt, and I will have the red and gold Jordans dunks that look like Ronald McDonald shoes or In-N-Out. It's a bad combo of colors. I got to tell you. I mean, it's
a popular combination of colors too. So.
I love the Dons, but if it wasn't for Cathedral gear, I would not be wearing any red and gold ever.
I mean, Ferrari colors are red and gold, so you can look at that.
They got the colors. They picked it. So back in the day when they started uni, it was an all-boys school. They voted on what the colors should be, and they picked the Marines colors. So it is an honorable.
Oh, there you go.
Is an honorable colors for us to don. I just don't feel like I look good in red or gold. So
to don.
Yeah, there you go.
I see what you did.
To don. There we go.
I see what you did there.
833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Yeah, as long as we don't have the gold pants. Although I will say, that must have came in after. I'm gonna wipe the tears on my face.
I'm getting too.
Yeah, the Dons did win a state championship with gold pants when Tyler Gaffney was on the team, so they broke the curse. But ever since then, they haven't done the same. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we get back to your phone calls, and we'll talk about something that's going on at San Diego State that was in the news. And I don't know if I don't really have that. I don't know if it's justified or not for what they're doing with tuition hike at San Diego State. But we're going to tell you all the information that you need to know about it to kind of finish up the show and talk Aztecs Oregon when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. 138 on what feels like a Thursday, but it's actually a Tuesday. It might be a Friday for some of you. It might be a Saturday for some of you. Based on traffic, I would say it's Saturday for a lot of people.
What?
How's your commute to work the last couple days? Horrid?
Why do you gotta jinx it, dude? Like, come
your
on,
commute
man.
home is not bad today. And your commute to Southwestern College.
Oh no, the commute to Southwestern College is
cakewalk.
That's going to be just people annoying me walking slow in the middle of the sidewalk. But
are you walking there?
I could.
You could walk there.
I'm not going to, but I could.
I was gonna say you could save $3 by walking.
No, I already paid the $3.
Oh, that's true.
But no, I don't know what the deal was getting onto the 125 from the 8 yesterday, but that was uniquely bad yesterday.
We had a team dinner at Coronado yesterday.
That's
cool. The commute down there was not difficult, surprisingly enough. I got to work yesterday, the fastest I've ever gotten to work that's not a weekend or COVID time. And I got to Cathedral from here yesterday faster than I've ever gotten up there. And I wasn't like going fast. And so hopefully that's the case again. I don't know. I feel like most people get this week off now. Seems like it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Most
Seen anybody
people-
walking around besides me, you, and Rob Zilla?
Most people get this week off, huh? Off. OFF off.
The afternoon show's last day
Off.
today. The afternoon show is got a Friday today.
That's cool.
We're holding it down tomorrow, man. We're holding it down tomorrow. We got a lot to talk about tomorrow. We got Aztecs basketball. Oof.
We got a boatload of guests, as we mentioned. We have
Tons of guests. You know, I'm just trying to add more and more and more.
Yeah, we have Tyler Heaps coming on tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to be.
Skylar's on tomorrow. Eddie Brown probably will join us tomorrow.
We are going to be the best postman in the known world tomorrow.
We're not doing the. Have you seen the meme going out right now? A quarterback kneel this week at work.
Yeah.
Run this play 3 times. Probably not the case. We got great basketball going on in the Players Era Festival, which a lot of people don't like, just because the atmosphere. I mean, look how many people are at the St. John's Baylor game. I mean, St. John's and Baylor is a great game.
Like I said, guys,
so many empty seats.
If you just bring everybody down, do what AEW used to do. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, never got crowds, and they're on national television. They're on TNT every week. So what they would do is they would bring the crowds that were up top down and move everybody to the side that was being shot by the hard camera to make it look like the building was full, dim the crowd lights, and never show a big picture of wide shot of the arena.
Is that what the Dodgers did in the World Series?
Yes. They couldn't turn the lights on the crowd down,
but
for
they were
obvious
basically doing
reasons.
that.
But yeah. So to anyone at the Players Festival, just stop doing the big crowd shots.
Viejas Arena used to do that where like only the court was lit, and I stopped doing it. I don't know why they've stopped doing it. They should do that
Because
again.
now there's people there, probably.
No. Like even when there was good game, like the Forum used to do.
It does also kind of. I mean, if you have a building lit too much, it does kind of distract the viewer a little bit. So it
that's what I'm saying.
forces your eye to the court and forces you to pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, Kansas Syracuse right now in the starting the second half, 34-25 in favor of the Jayhawks.
26.
Iowa State has defeated Creighton 78-60. St. John's is up 8-2 on Baylor right now. We got some great games later on this afternoon. I mean, Tennessee and Houston are going to play. Auburn and Michigan are playing, a couple of ranked teams. San Diego State will play Oregon later tonight. Maryland's got Gonzaga. I mean, there's the event is designed for television, as we know. But the in-person event's kind of just odd. We'll have the Radiant Children's Invitational this week at USD. Should be fun. I might go out there Friday to check out the Frogs. And now friend of the show, Jamie Dixon. How about that? It's good stuff. All right, let's talk about this for a second. All right, let's go back and forth on this thing here. You want to lay out for us exactly what's going on? It's funny, it's been on the news, but San Diego State is proposing a new student fee increase. Frank, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so San Diego State, here it is facing serious athletic department deficits and limited state funding, is proposing a 45% increase to its mandatory instructionally related activities, IRA fees, which primarily funds athletics. This would raise the annual fee for students from $580 to $840, with 95% of that increase, about $9.7 million per year, going directly to the athletic department. If approved, the student contribution to San Diego State athletics would rise from $16.3 million to $26 million annually, placing San Diego State among the top 10 public universities top 10 public universities nationally in student subsidized athletic funding.
Yeah, that's not great news. This is like the conversation I have all the time when it comes to everybody that had the argument that these players are getting a raw end of the deal, and like all these administrators are making all this money and they're stealing all this money. A lot of athletic departments cannot fund to do the things that they need to do at the D1 level. They can't. And San Diego State right now obviously has a lot of problems. They have a athletic department that projects a $5.3 million deficit for 2024-2025 because the Mountain West has withheld distributions to offset San Diego State's attempted conference exit. The deficit could really be $11.4 million or more. Ticket sales have declined after a 3-9 football season. Snapdragon Stadium project has a $25.4 million shortfall, and federal financial disclosures show a $29.1 million deficit in 2024. Not to mention, your state funding is shrinking. California faces an $18 billion shortfall next year and possibly $35 billion the following year. Increasing institutional support for athletics is unlikely while academic departments are being cut. Athletics costs are rising. San Diego State argues that it needs stable funding to remain competitive in Division I and attract donors and attention. And that looked on display last night. I mean, you're talking about San Diego State having to compete with Michigan, who has a $12 million roster, and you're trying to get your alumni not only to pay for your NIL, but also pay for a lot of other things and donations. And now you're going to ask your students to have to pay for all this extra money to just try to keep the athletic department funded and running.
Right. And as this article lays out, there is not going to be a referendum on this. So students are not even going to get to vote on this, which means you're getting the 45% hike.
Yeah, they're gonna charge you for it.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna be part of the tuition deal. Unlike some universities, as Frank mentioned, San Diego State is not using a referendum. Instead, it's using the alternative consultation, which has campus presentations, feedback forms, a committee recommendation, and a final binding decision by the president. Historically, for San Diego State, the only vote on athletic fees was in 2004. Students voted no, but the president raised the fee anyway. Every fee increase since has used alternative consultation. The current president, Adela De La Torre, will make the final decision after the December 5th committee meeting. Arguments presented for the fee increase. San Diego State claims that without the additional student funding, athletics competitiveness will decline, unstable budgets will jeopardize programs, and the university's national visibility and prestige could diminish. They argue that Division I sports benefit all students by boosting school spirit, enhancing community, improving alumni support, and increasing the value of San Diego State degrees. Students
enhancing community.
Yes.
Have they seen one of their football games?
Yeah, but basketball has a sense of community.
Right. But basketball, everyone knows. Even football is the one that makes the money. If you're going to fund a program, it's coming from the football program. Yes, basketball does have an incredible following here, but the moneymaker has no one caring about it.
Well, unfortunately for them, when they were building their new stadium and during COVID, when they couldn't have people in attendance, they had to play in LA for 2 years. And then they had 3 years of bad football in a row. And it's hard to get people in San Diego to care about teams that aren't very good. And they're good now. But again, it's like until they have a pipeline. This is the whole conversation I had for years about how they have to find a way into a power conference. Because the schedule they have and the teams that come in and whatever, San Diego is tired of minor league teams. They just are. And I know it's no, and I don't want to say that in a disrespect to the minor league teams in town. I think people have fun going to those events. I think they do a good job.
A 17th championship for the Sockers is not cutting it anymore.
Yeah, but the reality is, with the people that live here in San, and this is just a grip of reality in San Diego. The locals like a lot of teams, but again, a lot of the locals care about the Padres because they're Major League Baseball, and San Diego FC, they're Major League Soccer. They care about Aztec basketball. Why? Because the Aztecs have a chance to win a national championship in basketball. In football, they do not. They do not have a chance to win a national championship. You look at some of the other D1 programs in town. UCSD made the NCAA tournament. UCSD is getting a good following. Why? They have a chance to win a national championship in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They're at the level that could do that. In college football, they don't. San Diego State does not have a clean path to the college football playoff. It's a very small chance. If they go undefeated and win their conference, they still have a chance, but it's not a guarantee. It's not an automatic qualifier. So the reality of the situation is a lot of the transplant people, you don't have enough people in town that want to watch Aztec football. There's a lot of people that are not from here that live here that didn't go to San Diego State, that don't have a tie to San Diego State. And when the program is in a position, and it has no fault of the players or the coaches, in a position to make the college football playoff, even though they're not, it'd be difficult anyway, it's hard to get that kind of support. It's the reason why they have some money issues.
Adam Paul in the chat, we have mentioned that no, the students do not get to vote on this. This is a decision that's going to be made after the committee meeting next Friday by President De La Torre.
That's their right.
Yeah, this is not we've said it, this is not a student referendum. There will be no vote on this. It is up to President De La Torre after next Friday's committee meeting.
A lot of Aztec, yeah, I do think San Diego State gets hurt too by locals that leave to go to college elsewhere and come back. Because what are kids looking for in colleges now? I mean, the SEC is getting a lot more kids than Ivy League schools. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. Probably because it's fun. It's for the experience. A lot of kids go for the experience now. I'm going to tell you right now, you go to an SEC football game, go to a Big 10 football game, even go to some Big 12 football games as an 18-year-old. And then go to San Diego State and San Jose State and even just West Coast football. And they're like, why would I want to be here? The education's the same everywhere.
Juan Ruiz, you're so...
I hope education.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Exactly.
Some are, to be fair. Some are.
But, I mean, San Diego State's got a lot of... I mean, it's just... It is what it is. With the fee doesn't seem fair, but they're right on the Division I sports benefit. I mean, if San Diego State is not a D1 sports school,
no one's going to care.
How many of the alumni are donating money back to the school?
None.
Not a lot. Not a lot. They have to try to stay relevant, and they're going to have to raise the fees to do that because it costs money for these athletic departments to run Division I programs. And as you watch the Aztecs, it's still not enough. I mean, San Diego State raised, I don't know how much money, but it sounds like they got about $2.5 million in their basketball team. They just got ran out of the building by a $12 million team. It's hard. And this is what I was talking about before with the whole Big 12. There was that little dangle of a carrot of the Big 12. And what did J.D. Wicker say? He said, we want to be a full share. It's that whole conversation Ben Higgins had about the Players Association, the ownership group, when it comes to the new collective bargaining agreement. Sometimes it's better to have a smaller percentage of a bigger pie than a big percentage of a little pie. And this is the reality that's setting in for San Diego State. And I find it funny, and I'd love to know. And again, they got a lot bigger problems than what I know and what I'm informed on. So, but based on the information we got, it's like, don't you find it odd that the Pac-12 new great TV deal has no details about how much money every school is getting? Every other contract was talking about everybody else was bragging about the money they were getting. This fake Pac-12 thing is it's going to start turning into a disaster. And now the school has to subsidize the athletic department. to try to keep up. And you know what? They're trying their best to try to keep up. This is all the can of worms that get opened up when you decide to get away from the model that you were doing. And everybody gets NIL and there are no rules. This is now all of a sudden students got to pay more. Maybe we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Braden Surprenant Show. Gwen and Chris coming up next.